Back here at Lambeau Stadium, this is Bill Mercer and Blackie Sherritt. We were talking about the records of these two teams. The captains are out now getting ready for the kickoff of today's game. Green Bay lost to Baltimore 13-10 in regular season. They also lost to Minnesota 10-7. They lost to Los Angeles 27-24 and to Pittsburgh 24-17 the last two games. The Cowboys lost to Baltimore regular season 23-17, lost to Los Angeles 35-13 early in the season, and beat Pittsburgh 24-21. I don't think the regular season or anything else, Blackie, counts except right now.
Now, this is a big game because it's a big honor game and a big money game, Bill. This could possibly, a victory here could lead the winner with a victory in the Super Bowl against the AFL champions. Could mean as much as around $24,000, $25,000. So they're playing for big money today.
The ball is being placed now at the 40-yard line, 2 iron left. Don Chandler from Tulsa University is putting the ball at the 40. He also attended in Florida. Down deep is Sim Stokes on the far side and Craig Babe on the near side. This ball game is underway, and it goes to Stokes at the 5. He slips and comes to the 10. Up the 5 line to the 20, to the 25. Breaks up to the 30, goes to the 33, and is dropped to the 34-yard line on the far side of the field, around the 34-yard line. And the first man to get to him and drop him at that point was Bob Hyland, a rookie from Boston College, who Coach Lombardi said is one of the outstanding young men on his ball club. So it's 1st and 10 now for the Cowboys at their own 34-yard line on this frozen field. Ice is there. Here come the Cowboys up. They send Hayes to the near side. He's got his hands in his trousers. Retzel is flanked wide to the right, I formation. Perkins and Reeves in the backfield. Reeves with a big support around his collar. Hayes goes in tight. And it's Meredith back to pass on the first down. He fires one out in the flat. It's complete to Hayes at the 40, and Hayes is slid out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Bob Hayes went up and out around the 40, grabs the ball over his shoulder and picks it up at the 43. It's going to be very close to a first down. And what was your first observation of that first play, Blackie?
Bill, with that pass, Bob Hayes has already broken his playoff record. Last year against Green Bay, Bob did not have an especially good game. He only caught one pass up for a total of 1 yard and fumbled that, I believe. So he's already broken that. Now, that pass was thrown a normal pass, as we would say, well, rather high, and passers today, I would imagine, be aiming at the chest because the fingers are so cold that the receivers will trap the ball against the breast. But this ball was high, and Bob got it in very well over his shoulder.
And it was 10 yards and about 1 inch. Enough for a first down. The Cowboys are the first down on the first pass of the ball game. Meredith is 1 for 1. The Cowboys come up and they send Hayes left. I formation. Rensselaer is flanked wide to the right. Norman is split out about 3 yards. Perkins goes in the slot right. 4 men up front for the Packers. This is the first down. Meredith gives to Danny Reeves. Slides into a hole. Batters forward to the 45. Keeps fighting his way to the 47. And is smashed down at the 47-yard line. The footing is not good out there. Coming up to make the tackle was Robinson. As Danny Reeves tried to turn, you could see that he was digging, but he was not getting into that icy field. Up to the 47-yard, about the 47-yard line. It'll be second down and 6 yards to go.
Don Perkins has left the game, Bill. I don't know if he were injured on that particular play, but he's gone to the sidelines.
Garrison is in, and they split right with Garrison right, Reeves left. Hayes is split right. Coming out wide to the right is rolling right is Meredith looking downfield. He fires downfield. It is incomplete for Rensselaer at the Green Bay 37-yard line. The pass thrown a little behind Rensselaer, who turned to the sideline and tried to button hook back on a curl, and he was covered down there by Herb Adderley, the left cornerback. So it'll be a third down coming up and 6 yards to go, and Garrison goes out, and Perkins comes back in. So the Cowboys now come up with their first third down play of the afternoon, 15 degrees below zero at game time. And it is, as Blackie pointed out, a misgiving day because it is perfectly clear. The sun is shining brightly. Here comes Rensselaer on the near side, and Bob Hayes split right. Norman is split to the near side. As the end, he's out toward Rensselaer. The shift in the backfield, triple wing on the left side as Reeves comes into a slot. And the fake, the give on the reverse to Reeves, trying to cut the corner. Around the 45, hit at the 46, and dropped for a loss to the 46-yard line as they tried to run their reverse with Reeves coming around, and it was stopped with a loss of about a yard. So it'll be a first punting situation for the Cowboys, who will be punting against the wind. And going back in safety, around the 25-yard line on the far side of the field now is Tom Brown. who was the number 2 punt returner on the Green Bay Packers, and going with him is Willie Wood. Wood had taken 12 punts, but only 8 yards. Brown had caught for an average 4.4 in punt returns. Villanueva is booting. He gets a high kick going back around the 15-yard line, taken by Wood, and he is smothered immediately by Dick Daniels, who stops him at the 17-yard line. Daniels and Hayes. And the Packer offensive team comes on, and here's the way they line up. At left tackle, Bob Skoronsky. At left guard, Gail Gillingham. At center, Ken Bowman. At right guard, Jerry Kramer. And at right tackle, Forrest Gregg. The tight end is Marv Fleming. The split end is Boyd Dowler. In the backfield, Bart Starr. We'll check out that backfield, but it's Chuck Mercine and Donnie Anderson. Anderson is on the right side. Split right is Carroll Dale. The handoff up the middle. He goes to Donnie Anderson. He's flashed across the 20 out to the 23-yard line and is dropped right around the 23-yard line by Dave Edwards, the right linebacker. A fumble on the play recovered by the Packers. Anderson was hit. Ball squirted out of his hands, but he picked it up. So it'll be second down coming up and about 5 yards to go. The ball at the 23-yard line. Donnie Anderson is from Texas Tech. His home is Borger. Chuck Mercine is from Yale. Has been with New York this year. Here's a second down and 5, the 23-yard line. Coming the near side is Carroll Dale. Split right on the right side is Mercine. On the left side is Anderson. It gets to Anderson. He's hit behind the line. Break through, however. The 25 is up to the 28-yard line and is close to the first down at the 28. As finally Leroy Jordan made contact along with Jethro Pugh. Anderson slipped out of a tackle back at the 23-yard line.
Willie Towns almost had him for a loss in Bill, but maybe those cold hands, he couldn't hold on to Donnie Anderson. And if you will notice, Anderson so far has run with a good deal of confidence on this frozen field. The Cowboy runners so far have been very cautious, but maybe you can see the experience that Green Bay has had on this kind of a field.
Anderson right, Mercine left. Third down, about a yard to go. For the third down play for the Packers to give to Anderson. He barrels through. He's got the first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And leading the block was Forrest Gregg, the former SMU star. So it's a first down for the Packers. Their first down of the afternoon. The Cowboys have one. The Packers have one.
Packers ball, first and 10.
The Packers at their own 31.5-yard line. They're moving from our left to right. This is the first quarter of play. 11 minutes and 4 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. No score. The championship game of 1967. To the right side comes Carroll Dale. And Stars back to pass for the first time. He's hit and driven down back at the 22-yard line. The first man to get him was George Andre, and putting on the pressure was Bob Lilly and Jethro Pugh. And Bart Starr, his first passing experience, is dropped for a loss back to the 22-yard line. And so the Big Four, the Doomsday defense, cracks through on Starr and drops him back at the 22. And that'll be a loss. It'll bring up a second down and 20, a loss of 10 yards on the play. Our glass continues to freeze up despite the ability of that material we're spraying on here. That's good, Teddy. Away we go again. Here's the second down and 20 at the 23. Bart Starr, the quarterback. He's got a split to the right side and drops back to pass again. Looking, firing down on the middle, incomplete. Jimmy caught it at the 32-yard line. They say he did get it at the 31. Complete to Boyd Dowler.
No, it's a pass interference penalty, I believe, Bill. I believe Mike Johnson was called on a deep receiver.
Well, I was blocked out of the picture right here with the ice on the window. So it'll be a first down on a pass interference at the 31-yard line. Mercine and Anderson now with a first down at the 31. Bart Starr dropping back to pass again. He fires out in the left flat. It's complete to Anderson at the 40, the 45, and driven out of bounds at the 48-yard line, the far side of the field by Dave Edwards. That's enough for a first down and a 17-yard pickup across from the official spots it at the 46-yard line. So the second first down by rushing or passing for the Packers, and their third first down of the afternoon. The ball now at the 48-yard line where they finally spot it. And here come the Packers up. But out wide to the left side is Dowler. The near side is Carroll Dale. The deep back is Mercine with Anderson running on the left side. And the handoff to Anderson. He barrels in the middle of the line, back to the 49, hit by Leroy Jordan, and hits across the 50 and down into Cowboy territory at the 49-yard line. About 3 yards on the smash up the middle, brings up second down and 7 yards to go. So the Packers are into Cowboy territory for the first time this afternoon at the Cowboy 49-yard line. On that defense, Towns, Pugh, Lilly, and Andre. Edwards, Howley, and Jordan, the linebackers. As the Packers come out for second down, they've got Dale Wright and Dollar split left. The deep back is Mercine. And a give to Mercine. He squeezes his way through the middle and is stacked up by Jethro Pugh as he hits about the 47-yard line on a power play right through the middle of the line. Leroy Jordan comes out of that pileup. And so now we're at the Packers are at the Cowboy 47-yard line. It'll be third down coming up and about 4 yards to go. The wind is with the Packers at the moment. Here comes Dale on the near side and Dollar split left. The backfield is split with Mercine right and Anderson on the left side. 5 men up front for the Cowboys. Stars back to pass. Quick pitch up the middle behind Anderson at the 40-yard line. As Starr got rid of that football in a hurry, Anderson was on a fly down the left side across the 40, did not look up, and Starr threw the ball behind him. So I will bring up a question now as the officials talk, and it's going to be a penalty against the Cowboys, it would appear. Holding against Dallas. So unfortunately for the Cowboys, they had stopped the pass, and now there's a timeout on the field with no score here in the first quarter. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Who is the number one Oldsmobile dealer? In Dallas, Bankston's the top Oldsmobiler. Oldsmobiles, young mobiles. Yes, Bankston is the volume leader in Oldsmobiles. W.O. Bankston, no one else outranks them. Bankston's number one in Oldsmobiles.
W.O. can save you a lot of money if you hurry, unlike new 1967 Cutlass Supremes. Yes, W.O. has 10 67 Cutlass Supreme Special Executive cars, and they're priced at only $29.95 for the two-door coupes. Only $100 more for four-door sedans. Hurry downtown to Washington Olive for these 67 Cutlass Supremes from W.O.
W.O. Bankston, no one else outranks them. Bankston's number one in Oldsmobiles.
Back to play here at Lambeau Stadium. No score. There are 9 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Packers have a first down now at the Cowboy 42 on a holding penalty against the Cowboys. 2 penalties, a pass interference, and now a holding penalty have hurt the Cowboys here. As they had dropped Starr back on his own 22, he got it back in the ball game. Here comes Dale on the near side. Dollar split left. The deep back is Mercine, and the left side is Anderson. The Cowboys have 6 men up tight. Starr taking a look. He gives to Anderson, trying to cut the corner, but Lilly's on top of him and smashed into that cold turf for a loss back to the 44-yard line. As the Packers tried their sweep to the right with Gale Gillingham out in front, Bob Lilly to leap through the line, his two-man coverage, and jumped on Anderson's back and dropped him at the 44. Donnie Anderson this year has carried for an average 4.1 on 97 rushes. Coach Vince Lombardi said in his press conference he had intended to move Anderson to flanker, but because of all the injuries, he had not been able to do so. Anderson's on the right side. Deep back is Mercine. Split left is Carroll Dale. The right side is Dowler. This is second down and 13 to go at the Cowboy 44. Draw play to Mercine. Breaks one tackle. Runs into Dave Edwards. There's a battle with the linebackers at the 41-yard line, and he's down and around the 41. Coming up with a hard jarring tackle was Mel Renfro as Edwards had Mercine, and Mercine made it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line. So that brings up third down and still 10 yards to go. The Cowboys have all, with a rare exception, gone back into their igloo that is heated, back under their far side of the field. Some of the Packers are out in this cold weather, which they probably can endure a bit more.
I think you're showing off, Bill.
Third down. 10 to go at the 41 of the Cowboys. Split wide to the left side is Dale, near side is Dowler. Star in a passing situation on third down. And he's dropping back to pass. Has side, fires down the middle, complete at the 20, to the 15. It's complete to Carroll Dale, and he's got the first down at the Cowboy 25-yard line instead of the 15. Carroll Dale turned inside at the 25 and caught the ball and was dropped immediately at the 24-yard line. First down for the Packers.
Good for the first down.
And they're now deep into Cowboy territory at the 24-yard line. Carroll Dale's first pass of the afternoon, good for 17 yards.
You notice that pass was thrown low against the body, Bill, and Carroll Dale caught it, hugged it against his chest.
Carroll Dale's on the far side, down on the near side. The backfield is shifted to the right with the outside back Anderson. And fake to Anderson, back to pass Starr. Looks down the middle. It is incomplete at the 5-yard line. It was Carroll Dale who was down short around the 10. And into the end zone went Boyd Dowler. But the pass was thrown in between them. Neither got their hands on it. They may have busted their routes downfield. Covering was Cornell Green. And Leroy Jordan was back deep. So it'll be second down and 10 at the Cowboy 24-yard line. We can tell on the way, Blackie, they are moving around out there. That field is treacherous in some places.
I'm afraid it's going to get worse, Bill. It's going to, with this temperature like it is, by the time in the second half, it may be just a solid sheet of ice.
Going out wide, the left side is Carroll Dale, the veteran from BPI. And the near side is Boyd Dowler. It's second out and 10 to 24, and Stars back to pass again. Standing deep, firing out the left flat. It's complete over there to Dowler. He breaks it to the 15 to the 10 and out of bounds. Inside the 10-yard line at the 9, and it was Mike Gector who finally made the tackle. Dale had broken the tackle of Dave Edwards, and that'll be a first down inside the 10-yard line at the 9. So Dale now has caught two passes, that one for 15 yards, and a first down at the 9-yard line. And the Packers are driving here in the first quarter. 6 minutes and 53 seconds remaining. First and goal from the 9-yard line.
First and goal to go. Ball on the 9-yard line.
Ball at the 9-yard line. The Cowboys on defense here in the first quarter. Bart Starr sends Dowler left and Dale right. The deep back is Mercine. They give to Anderson. He batters up into the line of scrimmage and is piled up in the center of the line around the 8-yard line. Coming up to help was Willie Towns, Jethro Pugh. Underneath that pile of power was Chuck Halley, who made first contact. And it's only a yard picked up for Donnie Anderson. It'll be second down and goal from the 8-yard line. We understand the weather in Dallas is rather bad today. Dallas and the Fort Worth area, 35 degrees and drizzle.
You mean the people in Dallas think the weather is bad today?
Second and goal. Ball on the 8.
Yes, sir. It's something here. 15 below zero. Carroll Dale to the near side. Boyd Dowler goes in tight at left end. The deep back is Mercine. This is second and goal from the 8-yard line. Bart Starr takes a look at 6 men up front for the Cowboys. And he drops back to pass. Looks for Anderson. Fires down the middle. Touchdown to Dowler. Boyd Dowler scores for Green Bay with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Bill, it's fairly obvious that Bart Starr is his main target this afternoon is cornerback Mike Johnson. The two big pass plays on that particular drive were in Johnson's territory, and both the receivers beat Mike Johnson.
Here's the try for extra point. It's good by Don Chandler, and it's 7-0 with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Packers leading. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
I understand you drink Oak Farms milk at your house. Do you like it?
Well, I guess it's a favorite at our house. And my kitty likes it, too. It makes you feel groovy. It just makes my day. I know it makes my bones stronger. Even when I was little, I drank it.
When you drink a glass of Oak Farms milk, how do you feel?
Well, actually, it calms my nerves. It gives me a brand new perspective. Scrumptious. It just makes you feel, It makes me cool and I like to taste. Crazy man crazy.
Why do you like Oak Farms milk?
Because it tastes good, makes my tummy cold. Mainly because it's white. When I drink Oak Farms milk, I feel so silly. Because it has zinc.
The very best things have zing. And
secret ingredient?
Here at Lambeau Field, Don Chandler kicking off. Stokes and Bainham are deep. The ball is going down around the 10-yard line, touched, and goes over and out of bounds around the 11-yard line. Hit over there on the far side of the field by Larry Stevens. And so it'll be the Cowboys' ball, 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. And I think had the ball not been touched, it might have just gone on out of bounds and would not have been kicked again. However, the lineman afraid that it was going to be a free ball, trying to get it. So it's 1st and 10, and they spot it at the 12-yard line. And the Cowboys come up now trailing in this ball game 7-0 here in the first quarter. Retzel breaks out of the huddle on the near side. Bob Hayes goes far to the right. Perkins and Reeves in the backfield. The Packers have 6 men up tight. They give to Perkins a draw play up the middle. He picks his way through to the 15 to the 16-yard line and is whistled dead at the 16. Hit in the line of scrimmage by Dave Robinson, the big left linebacker. That's good yardage for Perkins, who was the number 6 rusher in the National Football League. Don Perkins moved in that select group of the top 10 in the all-time rushing in NFL. He had 4,585 yards through this, coming into this year. Tacked on 823 yards this season. One of the all-time rushers in the NFL. Here is 2nd down and about 6 yards to go. Retzel left and Reeves right. Pitch to Hayes on the right side. Hayes cuts up, goes to the 20, jumps to the 21, and dives to about the 21-yard line. It looks like he's got the first down. Hayes taking a quick pass on the right side, jumped up for 5 yards, and then dived on up for about 2 more. And looks like he's got the first down at the 22. They'll have to take a look at it and measure it, however. Bob Hayes out in that right flat, stepped back, took the pass. They have a change in the lineup right now as Clark comes in and Retzel goes out. They put that chain down. And it's a first down for the Cowboys. So Retzel comes back in. The Cowboys are walking around with their hands stuck in their pants, trying to keep their fingertips warm.
Bill, if you notice on that particular pass, it was one of those real brief passes to Hayes, who usually does that little dance step to freeze the defensive man, but he was very cautious with his dance in that particular time.
Here's the first down. Reeves shifts over to the right side. Hayes is split out wide the right. Retzel on the near side. The gift to Perkins. He batters in the line. Hit around the head at the 25 and dropped at the 25-yard line. And the man who got him was Leroy Cappy, the linebacker from Thorndale, Texas, the rancher from Texas A&M. And Perkins rambles up for a couple of yards to the 25-yard line. 7-0, the Packers leading here in the first quarter. There are 4 minutes and 17 playing seconds remaining here in the first period. 15 degrees below zero at game time. Bob Hayes comes out to the near side. Retzel is split wide to the right. Covering on Hayes on the left side is Bob Jeter. The handoff to Perkins, battering his way across the 25, diving to the 28-yard line. Great second effort. Blocking for him was Leon Donahue and Tony Licio. And Perkins rips and stumbles out before Caffey comes up again, along with Lionel Aldridge, to make the tackle just about the 29-yard line. So a big third down play now. Third down and 4 yards to go, and the Cowboys trailing 7-0 here in the first period. Retzel flanks wide to the right side. He'll be covered over there by Herb Adderley. On the near side is Hayes. He's covered by Bob Jeter. Reeves right, Perkins left in the backfield. This is a third down situation. Meredith gives to Perkins up the middle on that quick pitch to the 30, to the 32, and Perkins is out there close to the first down at the 33-yard line. Ray Nitschke made the tackle around the 33-yard line. And it's going to be a first down, but they're going to bring the chain in a measure anyway. On that particular play, Perkins sit on the left side. Meredith hands the ball behind him as he goes to his right, gives to Perkins on a kind of a trap delay up the middle. And Perkins, with a great hole open up in the middle by Donahue, Connolly, and Nyland, picked his way up for the first down by the length of the football at the 33-yard line. And so Perkins now has rambled for 15 yards in 4 carries.
Of course, Don Perkins will be one of the primary targets of the Green Bay defense this afternoon, Bill, because Perkins had a wonderful day against Green Bay in the championship game last year, gained 108 yards, and he's a personal target of Ray Nitschke, the middle linebacker of Green Bay today.
Hayes near side. Reeves goes out, puts the double wing in the right side with Rinzel. It's a first down, and Meredith rolls off to his right along the 25. Looks, waits. He throws deep down the field. It is underthrown at the 40-yard line to Reeves. Meredith throwing in between the covering defensive men. The deep back was Todd Brown over there. And inside shallow was Herb Adderley as Reeves went down the sideline. He turned around and slipped and fell at the 40-yard line. The ball hit around the 35. The Cowboys stopped the clock with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining. It'll bring up second down and 10. The Cowboys playing against a very strong north wind on a bitter afternoon here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Out wide to the right now is Bob Hayes, and the near side is Rinzel. Norman is split out at left end, tight end. Reeves goes over, double wing on the left and the right side. Meredith drops back to pass. Draw play is to Perkins. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage and goes nowhere. At the 31-yard line. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboy football broadcast.
All of the folks at A&A Package Stores wish all of you the happiest and most prosperous New Year ever. KLIF, Dallas.
Third and 10.
Back here at Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lambeau Stadium, 15 degrees below zero. The Cowboys trailing 7-0 behind the Packers. And this is third down. They need 10 yards. The Cowboys are at their own 33-yard line. Reeves shifts right, goes out of the slot to the right side. Hayes a split left. Meredith has a passing situation. Meredith with a long count, dropping back. Good protection. He waits in the pocket. Fires downfield. It's incomplete, underthrown at the 42-yard line. Intended for Rinzel, and it's a kicking situation for the Cowboys. So Meredith is 2 for 5 with that roar you hear from 50,000 fans here at Lambeau Stadium for the defensive unit of the Packers. And certainly the Cowboys have not gotten untracked as yet of this ball game. It's severe cold. Danny Villanueva comes out. I talked to Danny yesterday about playing here before. He's played here on 4 or 5 occasions in a very heavy snow one year. Villanueva kicking. Back is Brown and Wood waiting for the kick. Danny booting the ball. Gets it up. Hangs it very well. Fair catch is called by Wood at the 35-yard line of the Packers. And there is a timeout on the field.
Packers ball, first and 10.
With a minute and 57 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Timeout on the field with a score of the Packers 7, the Cowboys nothing. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Before you sign on the dotted line, know what your loan will cost.
Good advice from Household Finance. Before you sign on the dotted line, know what your loan will cost. At HFC, you will, because Household tells you the cost in advance. Household also suggests wherever you plan to borrow, be sure to check the cost. Make certain you're not paying more than you would at HFC. Then call or visit one of the more than 1,500 offices of America's #1 company, Household Finance.
Before you sign on the dotted line, know what your loan will cost.
That's Household Finance.
Now, at Household Finance, you can borrow up to $2,500 or more with up to 60 months to repay. There are 13 HFC offices in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. See your phone book for the office nearest you.
Here at Lambeau Stadium, this is Bill Mercer and Blackie Sherritt, and the ball game right now, 1 minute and 57 seconds to play in the first period, and the Packers are on their own 35-yard line, first and 10. Starr has Dollar right and Dale split left. The deep back is Mercine. The give to Chuck Mercine. He stumbles, cuts the corner, hit hard at the line of scrimmage, and barreled over by Leroy Jordan, the Alabaman, at the 34-yard line.
A fine play also then by Chuck Howley, Bill, the linebacker on this side. He slipped on this icy turf and fell down, and as Mercine passed him, he reached up with an elbow and tripped him.
Use anything you can today, if it's frozen or not.
All's fair.
Second and 10.
That's still low yardage on that first play. Chuck Mercine this year had rushed for 56 yards on 14 carries. was very valuable in the game against Los Angeles, scored a touchdown. Here's second out and 10 at the 34-yard line of Green Bay. And Stars back to pass, looks on the left side, fires downfield, it is incomplete, almost intercepted at the 50-yard line, bouncing off the hands of Carroll Dale, coming up quickly to cover was Mel Renfro and Mike Gector, but the ball bounced high in the air, incomplete.
That was one of those passes, Bill, that we were speaking of. That ball was high, and you could see it just bounce off of Boyd Dollar's hands. You could almost see his fingernails fly off, and he was really wringing his hands in anguish as he came back to the huddle. The ball is going to have to be thrown low against the receiver's body today.
Marv Fleming, the tight end, who was on the right side, had gone down also over there with Dollar and Dale, who were on the left side. And we watched Dale split wide to the left. On the left side is Fleming. That puts Dale the flanker back and Fleming the tight end on the left side, and Dollar's in tight on the right side. This is third down and 10, and Starr, of course, is back to pass. Standing on the 25, still waiting, fires out the left side. It is complete at the 38-yard line, and breaking free is Mercine. However, the whistle had blown as he caught the ball that was hit immediately over there by Mike Johnson. So only 4 yards picked up. The whistle had blown as Johnson made contact and did not let go until he heard the whistle. So that'll be a punting situation for the first time today for the Green Bay Packers. And their kicker is Donnie Anderson, the left-footer, who has kicked 65 times, averaging 36.5. He is 14th in punting in the NFL. Back in safety is Hayes and Renzel. Hayes on the near side, Renzel on the far side at the 30-yard line. There's a pass back. It's a low one. The kick is up. A high kick. Renzel calls fair catch and grabs it at the 32-yard line. And with 19 seconds left here in the first quarter, the Cowboys take over once again, first and 10. Mikey, I wonder if, thinking about this situation, certainly the weather has psyched, use that expression, the Cowboys a bit as they come out here, and the feeling is different. That the Cowboys maybe have come a little bit more alive now. Their defense doing a good job in this last drive, and they can come up, warm up to the situation. Bob Hayes split to the right side. Renzel split to the near side. 19 seconds, first and 10 at the 33-yard line. High formation to give to Perkins. Slashes in the left tackle. He's hit, breaks away from one tackler, comes around the corner, has no blocking, and is dropped at the line of scrimmage, along the line of scrimmage at the 33-yard line.
That's something you seldom see, Bill. Ray Niskey made good contact with Don Perkins behind the line of scrimmage, and Don Perkins broke the tackle, broke loose, and got back up to the line of scrimmage anyway. Niskey was rather disgusted with himself. He clapped his hands together, and I'm sure had a few choice adjectives.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score of the Packers 7, the Cowboys nothing. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
There's just one Schlitz, yeah, nothing else comes near. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. Just one beer fits, yeah, this great one here. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Schlitz is the one with gusto, the most carefully brewed beer in the world. It takes 1,174 brewing steps to put the real gusto in Schlitz.
If you like it light with a big taste too, there's only one brew that will do. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and other cities.
Second and 10.
Back to play here at Lambeau Stadium. It's second out and 10. The Cowboys 33-yard. Now they have the wind to their back. Hayes comes to near side. Renzel is split left. The eye formation in the backfield. Perkins is wearing red gloves. The pitch down the middle is incomplete. Thrown behind Renzel at the 42-yard line. Renzel fell down. Don Perkins is wearing gloves with red backs on them. Reeves, of course, has that protective collar around his neck because of a pinched nerve in his shoulder. Renzel comes back to the huddle. There are a couple of gentlemen in this ball game are in the hospital today. Alan Brown underwent surgery for a ruptured kidney for the Green Bay Packers last night. They almost lost this boy. He had an infection. He's in room 908 of the hospital. Alan Brown of Packers, and of course Pete Jensen, the hospital with the Cowboys. Third down, Meredith back to pass, waiting, pumps down the middle, incomplete, almost intercepted at the 45-yard line, intended for Reeves. And taking it away from him was Willie Wood, but he couldn't hold on to it. And the Cowboys have to punt on their own 33-yard line. And certainly, the effectiveness of the Cowboy offense has yet to be in gear here today in this bitterly cold weather at Lambeau Stadium. Villanueva standing back to punt now. He'll be on his own 18-yard line. Standing on the 18. Wood and Brown are back deep. He kicks it and gets it away. It bounces at the 35, rolls around the 35-yard line, and dies at the 35 of Green Bay. A kick of 32 yards. And it'll be first and 10 now for the Packers on their own 35-yard line. 7-0, the Packers leading here in the second quarter. We're just underway. This is a beautiful sight with all this snow gear in the stands of the Packer fans. Red and green and gold, but basically red, as these Packer fans have come prepared for the bitter weather. Boyd Dowler spits to the near side. Carroll Dale flanks wide to the right. The backfield. Bart Starr, the quarterback. And Starr gives off to his outside man, to Ben Wilson, who cuts outside left into the 40 up to the 45, and it's finally dropped to the 48-yard line. It's got the first down on a 12-yard gallop. Ben Wilson, who's been limping this week and had carried this year 103 times for 453 yards, averaging 4.4. He is from Southern Cal, came from the Rams, set out the 66 season. So he just picked up a first down on an 18-yard run. Ben Wilson at the Packer 48-yard line. Also in there now is Travis Williams in place of Donnie Anderson. Travis Williams, the speed burner. It's a handoff to Williams, and he plows through a hole to the 50 and down to the 45-yard line before he's knocked off his feet by Mike Johnson and Dave Edwards. Travis Williams had carried 35 times for 188 yards. Against Los Angeles, he carried 88 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Bill, Travis Williams is the first real explosive back that Green Bay's had in a number of years. It gives their offense an entirely different look when they have a speedster like he who can go all the way.
Here is second down and about 5 yards to go. And the handoff is again to Williams. He barrels through, is caught from behind as he crosses the 45 by George Andre, and Andre pulls him down. Picked up about a yard and a half, and it'll be third down and a long yard and a half, well, about a yard to go. Of course, George Andre is a little used to this weather. He played at Marquette.
3rd and 1.
But I don't think anybody can ever really get used to it.
I don't believe Admiral Byrd was used to this weather.
Here now is the third down and a yard to go. It's a fake on a handoff, the pitch down the middle, intended for Dowler. He makes the catch, the 10, the 5, he's in for the touchdown. Boyd Dowler traveling 42 yards. He caught the ball over his shoulder. That gives him a total of 50 yards and 2 catches and 2 touchdowns. And so with 12 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, Starr to Dowler for the second touchdown. 42 yards. That is 13-0 in favor of the Packers. And now Chandler will try the extra point. The ball's down, it's up. And it's good. 14-0. The Packers over the Cowboys. With 12 minutes and 19 seconds remaining, Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Who is the number 1 Oldsmobile dealer? In Dallas, Bankston's the top Oldsmobiler. Oldsmobiles, young mobiles. Yes, Bankston is the volume leader in Oldsmobiles. W-O Bankston, no one else outranks them. Bankston's number one in Oldsmobile.
Back to kick off now is an onside kick on the 30, picked up the 25-yard line. Run back by Stevens up to the 40, and Larry Stevens up to the 40-yard line. Squibbler kick on the ground. Picked up by Larry Stevens up to the 40-yard line. First and 10 out for the Cowboys, who trail 14-0 here in the second quarter with 12 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Starr is now 6 for 11. He's hit Dowler twice. Dowler had one touchdown against the Cowboys last year. Bob Hayes splits left. Rentzel comes to the near side. Perkins and Reeves in the backfield in the I formation. They shift with Reeves going out as they slot back to the left side, double wing on the left, and Meredith back to pass. Meredith firing deep down the field for Hayes, but it's incomplete at the 30-yard line. And Hayes cannot break behind his receiver, almost intercepted over there by Bob Jeter.
Bill, they may come back with that particular play because Danny Reeves had shifted out the slot back then, and he was by himself in the middle of the field, about 15 yards deep, and nobody was covering him.
Hayes running downfield around the 25-yard line. It'll be second down and 10, 12 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Rentzel split left, Hayes comes to the near side. The Cowboys, of course, in the first game, the championship game last year, were down 14-0 before they came back. Give to Perkins, up the middle, across the 40, and up to the 40-yard line by Ray Nitschke, the middle linebacker. Perkins trying to pick his way, couldn't find it. Third down comes up at the 40-yard line. Nitschke intercepted 3 passes this year for 35 yards. All pro 64, 65, 66. University of Illinois. He was a fullback in Illinois. Here comes Rentzel out to the right. Bob Hayes split left. Third down, 10 at the Cowboy 40. Meredith dropping off to his right. Looks for Rentzel. Lofts one out. It's intercepted at the 45-yard line. That is Adderley. Herb Adderley down at the 35-yard line. And it's first and 10 for the Packers on the Cowboy 33. Coming over to make the tackle was John Nyland.
Bill, Pettis Norman is down on the field around the 50-yard line. Looks as though he might have hurt a left knee or left ankle. He's being carried off now.
Well, it's first and 10 at the Cowboys 33-yard line. The Packers with an interception as Meredith tried to loft the pass out on the right flat. Herb Adderley intercepting, bring it back to the 33-yard line. Adderley had intercepted 4 this year. Bart Starr, the quarterback, the deep back. And the give is to the fullback, and that is to Ben Wilson, who tries to cut the corner to the 31-yard line, is written down by Mel Renfro, Leroy Jordan, and Mike Johnson, starting the corner at the 31-yard line.
Johnson and Renfro.
Going to be second down coming up. And call it about 9 yards to go.
On the 32.
Travis Williams and Ben Wilson in the backfield. Split wide, the right side is Carroll Dale. The near side is Dowler. Bart Starr has a second down and 10 at the 32-yard line. And Starr back to pass at the 40. Looking deep downfield, the ball bat in the air. Knocked away by Bob Lilly.
Incompleted forward pass.
Starr was going deep. He had Dowler and Dale down around the 5-yard line. And out in the right flat was Ben Wilson. But that pass was blocked away. Had to ring up third down, and still 10 yards to go. Spotting the ball at the 32.5-yard line.
Bill, on Bart Starr's touchdown pass, the last touchdown pass just a few minutes ago, this was on one of his favorite situations. It's third down and 1 yard to go, and everybody in the ballpark is expecting a run. Then he throws the long pass, and certainly was successful that time.
Here comes the third down situation now at the 32.5-yard line. To the near side is Dale, the far side Dowler. The Cowboys setting up with 6 men up front. Now Starr dropping back to pass. Waiting, looking deep, is hit from behind and driven out at the 42-yard line. And the big man I got him was George Andre. Andre dropped Starr back to the 41.5, and the receivers downfield were covered. Oh, good defensive work by the Cowboys, stopping Starr at the Cowboy 41.5-yard line. George Andre breaking on through. 14-0, the Cowboys in that deficit as they were last year. We have now 10 minutes and 46 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The The Packers are looking to the sideline. They need one more man, and that's Travis Williams who comes out. Back to kick, Donnie Anderson. Back in safety are Hayes and Ritzel standing around the 13-yard line. Anderson kicking now from the 41. Here's the boot. Hits around the 20, rolls to the 15, and is going to roll dead around the 10-yard line. A very fine kick. Finally rolls dead at the 8. A kick of 32 yards. He kicked it off the side and got the good roll on it. And the official says it's dead at the 9-yard line. So 10 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. The Cowboys on their own end of the field at the 9, first and 10, trailing 14-0. The lights are on here at Lambeau Stadium. And there's a timeout on the field with the score of the Cowboys 0, the Packers 14. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
When you need a loan, but have never borrowed before, how do you decide on the company when there are so many to choose from? One good way is to go to the company most folks choose. That company is Household Finance. The fact is, over 2.5 million people each year choose Household Finance over any other company in the business. Wonder why? Maybe it's because HFC is the oldest and largest company of its kind, with 1,500 offices in the United States and Canada. Or maybe it's because HFC has 90 years of experience in serving people with prompt, understanding money help. When you need money, why not get the added convenience of going to the company most folks choose? HFC, Household Finance.
Here, Leroy Caffey and Ray Nitschke. Picks up 1 yard at the 10-yard line. Perkins smashing up to the 10. Second down and 9 yards to go. The Cowboys have Perkins, Reeves, and Renzel in the backfield. Meredith, the quarterback. Hayes, Licio, Nyland, Conley, Donahue, and Neely, Norman along the line. Let's see if Norman is back in there now. And it'll be second down. And to Perkins again. He batters through to the 14, up to the 15, takes his tacklers to the 16-yard line. Once again, it's Nitschke on his back. Perkins moving up, brings up a third down situation with around 3 yards to go. And about 4. Renzel is in a flanker back. The Cowboys trailing 14-0. Here comes Renzel out to the right. Bob Hayes split left. Perkins wearing gloves. Comes over to the right, then a slot to the right side. Third down, 4 yards to go at the 16. Give to Reeves. Danny tries to cut the corner. He's smothered back at the 14-yard line. Nina was trying to block for him, but Nitschke came over to make the tackle. Also in on top of that play was Henry Jordan. And it'll be a 4th down and 5 with a loss of a yard. And going back in safety now. On the far side, Willie Wood. On the near side is Tom Brown. Waiting for the kick. 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Villanueva going back to the 1 yard line. Danny standing on the goal line, kicking from the 14. Here's the boot. And it's a fair catch at the 45-yard line by Willie Wood with a flag down at the 14.
On the 45-yard line. Packers ball, 13.
A flag is down. And the indication we'll see in just a moment as the official calls the ball back. The headlinesman, the officials talking now with 8 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Discussion at the 40-yard line. So far, Meredith is 2 for 9. Starr is 6 for 13 as the quarterbacks operate in this first half. The chain marker was at the 14-yard line. And the ball is being set back now on the 9 as the Cowboys wear the brunt of the penalty here at the 9-yard line. Offsides against Dallas. So penalty will have to kick again.
Against Dallas. 5 yards.
But Danny kicking now from 4 yards in the end zone. And 9 men are up there to put a rush on Villanueva. There's a snap back. He's got it, a high pass. Gets it away. Just did. Hits at the 30. Rolls to the 40. Goes across the 45. Taken by Tom Brown, who's hit at the 50 and dropped at the 50-yard line by Harold Hayes, the specialty team captain. So a fine kick from the 9-yard line to the 50 of 41 yards and a 1st and 10 now for the Packers at midfield. Harold Hayes driving down to make the one-arm grab of Tom Brown for no return. Well, actually, the Cowboys, even though they lost 5 yards to the penalty, got 5 yards more on the punt. Carroll Dale comes to the near side. Out wide to the right is Dowler, who scored 2 touchdowns today. On the right side is Williams. On the left side is Wilson. Bart Starr drops back pedals to the 42, fires out in the flats, complete at the 46-yard line of the Cowboys, and Chuck Alley makes the tackle on Travis Williams immediately. Picks up about 2.5, 3 yards out of the Travis Williams, who is a running back, was delayed and went down to the 46 and turned out, and is down at the 46. Picked up about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 at the Cowboy 46. 7:42 remaining here in the second quarter. The backfield, Travis Williams, Ben Wilson, the running backs, Carroll Dale, the flanker back, Bart Starr, the quarterback. The near side is Carroll Dale, out wide to the right is Dowler. The backfield is running strong right with the deep back, Ben Wilson. The Cowboys in very tight defense. The handoff is to Wilson. He tries to cut the corner. Is hit by Chuck Cowley, and they got him back to the 49 and dropped him for a loss of the 49-yard line. He had help then from Leroy Jordan. Wilson delayed, trying to saw that there was no room up the middle, trying to go outside, but Halley was there and jumped on him for a loss back to the almost the original point of scrimmage at the 48. A loss of 2. It'll be 3rd down and about 9. 3rd and 9 at the 48.5-yard line of the Cowboys. Even though this booth is closed, we can feel the cold as it comes through this window in front of us. And I, like the Cowboys, Blackie, have my feet wrapped in saran wrap.
You're in the majority.
Out wide to the right is Dale. The near side is Dowler. And the deep back, Wilson with Starr, back to pass at the 41. This one out in the flat. It is incomplete off the fingers of Ben Wilson at the Cowboy 49. Wilson had delayed, turned out along the line of scrimmage at the 50, was in the clear. Jordan had come over quickly to cover on him, but the ball just bounced off his fingertips, incomplete.
You can charge that one up to weather, Bill. You could, the ball was out in front of him, and with those frozen fingers, almost impossible to hold.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboy football broadcast.
All of the folks at A&A Package Stores wish all of you the happiest and most prosperous New Year ever. KLIF, Dallas.
Anderson punting a high kick that hits at the 30, rolls back across the 34, and dies around the Cowboy 32-yard line. So a kick of about 17 yards as Anderson was trying to get that ball high to keep it away from a run back and give his men time to get under it. He did get it high, but only about 17 yards. So the Cowboys have a little better field position than the last series. 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. You have to feel a great deal of sympathy for the Packer officials, who were very proud, and rightly so, of this heating system underneath their turf, which was to keep the field at 52, 55, 56 degrees. However, I guess there are limits to everything, Blackie.
No, I suppose electronics can go just so far. You don't fight nature, especially when this nature comes from the Arctic Circle.
Because this field yesterday was in pretty good shape. It was rather wet. And then when this tremendous cold wave came in, the dampness of the field, they were going to bring a helicopter in today and dry it. They didn't need to do that, though, because the cold dried it out and stiffened it. And the damp field was, of course, looked good yesterday. It was a little slick, but they anticipated that it would not be overly slow.
You think it's possible that Vince Lombardi even controls the weather up here? He controls everything else.
I'm not sure. As we come out now, we got a 1st and 10. Craig Bainham is running in place of Reeves, and Perkins on the right side. Hayes right, Menzel split left as the receivers. Meredith gives to Bainham. He swashes into the right side of the line, but he can't find an opening as Willie Davis sticks his head in at the 31-yard line and stops him for a loss. Craig Bainham had a great game against Cleveland last week, as he scored 3 touchdowns in that ball game. But it's a loss of about 1.5 yards. It'll be second down coming up now, just across the 30-yard line. The Cowboy speed has certainly been nullified by this field. We have seen nothing that resembles speed yet. Hayes running downfield is picking his way, and just looks like a very cold young man from Florida. Here is second down. Pick to Perkins. He batters through to the 435 and is across the 36-yard line. Finally upended there by Leroy Cappy, who was with the Eagles in 63 and came to the Packers in 64. A very fast man. He's intercepted a couple of passes this year.
3rd and 7.
28 yards. Third down, about 7 yards to go now. The ball at the 35, just across the 35-yard line, at the hash mark on the far side of the field. The Cowboys moving from our left to right. Rentzel comes to the near side. Bob Hayes split left. The Packers have almost 7 men up tight. Reeves pitches out to Hayes on the left side. Hayes, looking for a little running room, is all smothered, though, and can't break away, and is dropped for no gain at the 35. And it would seem that every time the Cowboys go one way, there are a bunch of green shirts there. As Hayes was set up around the 35, it's the favorite play of the Cowboys, but he couldn't take off. And so it's fourth down once again, and still a long yardage to go, about 7. Villanueva goes back to punt again, and this time from his 36-yard line. Villanueva kicking to either Brown or Woods. Here's the pass back and the kick, and he gets a good one this time. Going on back to around the 20-yard line, taken by Willie Wood, cutting the corner, hit and dropped up at the 30-yard line. A kick of 44 yards with the win by Villanueva, and brought back up to the 30. So Wood has dropped to the 31. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Packers on their own 31-yard line with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Leading 14-0 over the Cowboys. Coming up the line of scrimmage, Dowler comes to the near side. Carroll Dale spit out wide to the right. On the right side is Wilson. On the left side is Travis Williams. Bart Starr, the quarterback. A flag is called.
Flags on the play.
Just as the Packers moved up. That judge came in through the flag and is now marking off a penalty against the Packers. And I believe, as I recall, that's the first one this afternoon against the Packers. The Cowboys had 3, and 2 of those came at a very inopportune time in the first drive of the Packers. Illegal procedure against the Packers. Back to the 26-yard line. First down now in 15. 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. Downer left and Carroll Dale right. The backfield is split with Wilson on the right side, and on the left side is Travis Williams. Bart Starr looks at 5 Cowboys up very tight and drops back to pass. Standing at the 20, being chased by Andre, being chased and driven. The ball fumble, picked up by Andre to the 5. He goes into the end zone for a touchdown for the Cowboys. And that could very well be a great spark for the Cowboys in a cold afternoon. Andre hitting Starr at the 5. Starr fumble. Andre picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. Lucky?
Willie Towns, give Willie Towns assist on that. I believe it was Willie Towns who hit Starr and knocked the ball out of his hands, and it bounced just almost directly to George Andre, who was walking around like a cautious crane, a half-frozen crane, and but he was very calm with it, picked it up, and I would say sort of strolled across the goal line. It could be a real big play.
It could be a play that warms up the Cowboys and makes it 14-6, and Villanueva will try the extra point with Jerry Rove holding. Andre with a touchdown, and that's his first of the year. You recall he got one last year, taking a pass away in the New York game. Here's the kick up, and it's good. It's 14-7 with 4 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. The Cowboys trailing by a touchdown. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Do you eat a lot of Oak Farms ice cream at your house?
Oh, I guess I've had about 100 gallons. Once our puppies got on the table and ate it all up.
Well, why do you like Oak Farms ice cream best?
If I had my life to live over again, I'd still eat Oak Farms ice cream. Well, it's mysterious. Well, it's nice and cold, that's one thing. I think Oak Farms ice cream has zing.
Do your parents like Oak Farms ice cream?
My dad always gets smaller than we do. Almost. He takes the biggest bowl we have. He globs it in there. He does.
Now, Oak Farms ice cream has zing in it. Do you know what zing is?
I think Cornell knows what zing is. I think zing is something that I can't describe. Actually, it makes me tingle all over. Way out, Mary.
The very best things have zing, and they're from Oak Farms.
Is zing a secret ingredient?
The Cowboys trailing 14-7 now, just before the half. That's the second touchdown. That's actually the third touchdown for Andre. Here's the ball kicked off to the 5, goes into the end zone, and down there. Andre in 1965 recovered a fumble for a touchdown. Which was his first one. And then he got the interception in the New York game last year and took that one in 6 yards out for his other touchdown. So this is his third touchdown with the Cowboys. And it's 1st and 10 out the 20-yard line as they kicked off on the ground and had the ball bounce into the end zone on the near side. 14-7, 3:59 remaining. Dollar comes the near side, and Dale is split out wide to the right. Starr being bashed by Willie Towns. The handoff is to Travis Williams. Tries to cut the corner. He does at the 20. Being chased by Halley and turned outside of the far sideline by Halley and Cordell Green. However, there was some good action in the backfield as Travis Williams started up and was caught and held up a bit. And then the linebackers came on in with Cordell Green to make the tackle along the line of scrimmage. Picked up at the most a yard. Bart Starr 7 for 15. Don Meredith 3 for 10 in this refrigerator afternoon here in Lambeau Stadium in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dollar to the near side and Carroll Dale right. This is 2nd down and 9, and Stars again back to pass at the 10-yard line. Looking in trouble, hit from behind. The ball is thrown over on the far side, intended for Wilson at the 35. He was covered by Cornell Green, and Andre was pressing his way through along with Willie Towns, trying to get to Starr again back at the 10-yard line.
Bill, it looks as though the Dallas defense has maybe decided to let the linebackers watch out for the whatever runs that they might break up the middle, and they're just blowing head first in on Bart Starr now. That was the reason behind this the fumble and the touchdown. They were all going all out on first down towards Starr.
Here comes down on the near side, Darrell Wright. This is Dale Wright, 3rd down and 9 yards to go. The deep back is Wilson as Starr looks at the 4 men up front. There's action in the line. The talk now with the Packers, but the official comes in and he talks to the head linesman. And it's going to be marked off against the Cowboys as he faces toward Dallas. Out to the 26-yard line. Illegal procedure against the Cowboys. Stops the clock with 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. 14-7, the Cowboys trailing by 7. And the Packers huddling back in their own 15-yard line. Wilson, Williams, and Dale in the backfield. Dale is out wide to the right as the flanker back, and Dowler's to the near side. Starr has his backfield running strong to the left off the weak side. And it's Starr back to pass again. He is waiting and then runs into trouble and falls down back at the 20-yard line. As the front 4 came charging through with Jethro Pugh, the man coming up near Starr. And so the big 4, Towns, Pugh, Lilly, and Andre have been the key here in the last moments of the second quarter. It'll be 4th down. He lost 4 yards in the play. 4th down and 9. Now we have 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Now the Cowboys have an excellent chance to get great field position as Anderson's back on his 5. And if the Cowboy offense can warm up, they can get back in this ball game before the half. Anderson standing on the 5. The ball low, but he comes up with it. He kicks it into the wind. Fair catch is called at the 48-yard line by Hayes. And it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Cowboys. And here comes the offensive unit out with a 1st and 10 and a chance to get this game tied up. Ritzel is in, Perkins is in, Reeves is in, and Meredith is in with Norman as the tight end. Bob Hayes split in. The ball at the 48-yard, let's call it the 47-yard line. It's a little closer to that mark. Hayes right. Split left is Ritzel. Perkins on the left side, Reeves on the right side. Meredith drops off, gives to Reeves. He sliced in the left tackle, hit from behind, dives down to the 45-yard line. But Henry Jordan jumped on his back, and Reeves picked up at the most only 2 yards. Now Frank Clark comes in, and Pettis Norman is going out. Pettis this year had caught 20 passes in regular season. Clark had caught 9. Clark is a fine blocking end. Here comes Renzel right. Bob Hayes split left. This is second down. They need 8 yards to go at the 45-yard line of the Packers. The deep back is Perkins. Reeves comes in motion to the near side. Handoff is a reverse to Clark, who's hit from behind and is dropped back into Cowboy territory at the 48-yard line. Leading the play was Henry Jordan. The fake to Perkins up the middle. Clark trying to reverse to his left, and he is dropped all the way back to the Cowboy 48. So that play was busted wide open by the very astute Henry Jordan. He wrestled Clark down just as Mr. George used to do in his lasting days when he went to the NCAA finals. Meredith goes to the sidelines. 2 minutes to play now. There's time out on the field with the score of the Cowboys 7, the Packers 14. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Here's the sound. Now add gusto.
There's just one Schlitz, yeah, nothing else comes near. When you're out of Schlitz, when you're out of Schlitz, when you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Schlitz is the one with gusto.
Just one beer fits, cool Schlitz, there's great one here. When you're out of Schlitz, when you're out of Schlitz, when you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Schlitz is the most carefully brewed beer in the world. You get the great taste of gusto in the great light beer.
When you're out of Schlitz.
Why don't you get with gusto? Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and other cities.
Well, on the third down play, Meredith underthrew his receiver, and it'll be fourth down coming up now. Villanueva kicking from his own 33-yard line. Here's the pass back, and he gets into it. It's a nice high kick with a win. A fair catch called by Wood. He fumbles in a battle for the football at the 14-yard line. They're still looking at it around the 13. The Cowboys say they've got it. Wood fumbled the football. The Cowboys have recovered. The Cowboys fall and they finally come up with it at the 17-yard line with 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining. And the last man up was Phil Clark. Also there, John Wilbur and Dick Daniels. First and 10, the Cowboys got 1 minute and 35 to go. 14-7 the score, and here come the Cowboys up. Renzel right, Bob Hayes split left. Perkins and Reeves in the backfield. Reeves shifts right, Perkins left. Meredith looks at 5 men up front to give us to Perkins. He batters his way to the 15 and is caught behind at the 14-yard line and pulled out. Whistle had blown. The ball squirted out of his hands. The man making the tackle was Ray Nitschke. And so it's at the 14-yard line. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. 14-7. The Cowboys trailing by a touchdown. They've had 2 breaks. Andre scoring on a fumble by Starr. Renzel right. Bob Hayes split left. Perkins has a second down. Strong side right in the line. Meredith back to pass. Waits, fires downfield. Incomplete. He threw behind Renzel at the 5. Renzel had turned in at the 5-yard line. That stops the clock with 54 seconds. Renzel turned in at the 5-yard line. And Meredith now has time here with 54 seconds left in the second quarter. The ball at the 14-yard line of Green Bay. Back deep for them, Jeter, Wood, Brown, and Adderley. The Cowboys huddling back at their own 24-yard line. Renzel comes right, Bob Hayes split left. Strong side right in the line. Third down play, and Meredith back. Waits, fires out the flat to Reeves at the 20. Reeves to the 15, hit at the 14-yard line, and stopped for no gain at the 14. And Nitschke and Reeves get involved at the 14. Fourth down. As Reeves took the pass in the flat, and timeout is called by the Cowboys. And the forward point of the attack was on the 14-yard line. And the Cowboys called time with 36 seconds. Well, Blackie, it's certainly a day that has done something. If Mr. Lombardi said the weather wouldn't have anything to do with this ball game, he certainly must have said it with tongue-in-cheek, because it has completely obliterated the Cowboys' speed today.
It's done that. It's almost ruled out any such thing as sweeps because all the backs on both sides, as a matter of fact, are running rather cautiously as though they were barefoot in a bunch of open safety pins. They run like it hurts them, so everything is going to have to be thrown short or run inside.
21-yard field goal try now as Rome will hold at the 21-yard line. The pass back, the kick up, looks good. It's good, 14-10. The Cowboys trailing by 4 with 32 seconds remaining. 32 seconds on the clock here in the second period. Danny Villanueva kicks a field goal from 21 yards out, and it's 14-10. Now, it's interesting to note that in this scoring of 10 points for the Cowboys, it's been set up by the defense, with Wood fumbling as he was hit with the ball on the punt. And, of course, Willie Towns and Andre hitting Bart Starr back at the 5, and Andre picking up the ball and running it in.
Bill, if you remember last year in the championship game played in Dallas, Green Bay got off to a quick 14-0 lead, and then the Cowboys had a real uphill battle coming back. And as I remember then, it was mostly an offensive battle. Today, the Cowboy defense has put them back in the game.
I wonder if they might change shoes in the halftime. Like he might go to the tennis shoes.
Well, Tom Landry said before the game he didn't believe that tennis shoes would be effective on this field. I don't know what his reasoning is. Maybe because they would be too slick.
They might be. Here's the kickoff. An onside kick. Spattered around the 45 and covered by the Packers at the 45-yard line. And coming up with the football was a big tackle. Jim Weatherwax, 2-year man from Los Angeles State, who went to West Texas for 1 year. So it's 1st and 10 now at the 45 of the Packers with 26 seconds, and the clock is rolling. 14-10, the Cowboys trailing by 4. Starr is the quarterback. He's got a great backup quarterback in Zeke Bratkowski. Meredith has a fine backup quarterback in Craig Morton. Starr looking with a 1st and 10. He's dropping back to pass. 2 men down the left side, waits, and the ball is batted in the air and incomplete at the 42-yard line.
Bob Lilly is the man who jumped in the air and stuck one big paw in front of that ball. Lilly's having another tremendous game so far.
It's interesting, I think, Mike, to look at the difference in this game, the 5 seconds left now, that the defense, of course, has a different game to play, a more straight-on type of operation. And though the secondary has to cut a great deal, but they would seem to be charging better than you look at the offense, which is... as I said, running around as though there might be barefoot. 5 seconds remaining. Second down at the 45-yard line. 5 seconds here in the first half, and Starr gives to Travis Williams. And he cuts the corner. He doesn't look too speedy either as he slips and slides and falls down, and that's the end of the first half at the 48-yard line as Leroy Jordan made the tackle. And so the Packers leave. They had at one time led 14-0. 12 minutes and 19 seconds to play in the second quarter, but the Cowboys coming back with defense, and it's 14-10. 14-10 here at halftime at Lambeau Stadium. Lucky, you were talking about, you remember some of these games played in the ice and snow? I remember the game in watching the one in Yankee Stadium, when they used tennis shoes in the severe weather there, not too many years ago.
I believe this goes way, way back to Steve Owens. Someone was coaching the Giants, and it was quite an innovation at that time. He sent an equipment man over to the basketball stadium at New York City University and borrowed their basketball shoes, and they came out in the second half of the sneakers and were quite successful. However, on a field that is this frozen and it's slick, it's almost, I don't know if the sneakers would be of any great advantage. I don't think any kind of footwear is a real great advantage today. Maybe boots, and maybe they'll come out in boots the second half. I don't know.
Well, I don't think they could probably run any slower out there, and certainly when we were talking to the coach yesterday, he said he expected last year a defensive game, and they expected one this time. It has turned out to be that now after the 14 points. Bart Starr, as you mentioned, coming up with that third down play. What did you note it for? Hitting Dowler or hitting Dale on that third down situation?
Last year.
So it'll be a second down coming up and still 10 yards to go at the 26-yard line.
Call operator 61 in Oshkosh, please. This is Arvin Becker. Call operator 61 in Oshkosh.
This is second down and 10 yards to go. Bob Hayes split to the left side. Renzel right. They shift now with Reeves going in the slot to the left. Clark is split out on tight end. Meredith back to pass. Good time. Plenty of protection down the middle. Hits Clark at the 40. Frank Clark is up to the Cowboy 40 and a first down and drop there. And Frank Clark makes his first catch of the day and picks up 14 yards and a first down at the 40-yard line of the Cowboys. Meredith now is 6 of 16.
That was an ideal pass, Bill, because it was thrown just about waist high, and Clark didn't have to subject his fingers to any of this brittleness. He just caught it right against the stomach.
Renzel comes to the near side on first down at the Cowboy 40. Hash mark on the far side of the field. Renzel right, Hayes split left. The Cowboys shift in the backfield. Reeves on the right side. Meredith pitches to Reeves. Out in front is Ralph Neely to the 40, to the 45, to the sideline on the near side at the 48 and out of bounds here in front of the Green Bay bench at the 48-yard line. And Ralph Neely and Tony Licio blotting away the green shirts of the Green Bay Packers. And that'll be good for 6 yards and a second down and 4-yard situation. Let's call it closer to 3 yards at the 47-yard line of Green Bay where they spot the ball. So the Cowboys are rolling here in the third period, trailing 14-10 with 10 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. Reeves left and Perkins right. To the near side is Hayes. It's a give to Reeves. Counters the right side. Finds the holes to the 45. Breaks to the 40. To the 35. Down to the 32-yard line. And finally pulled out at the 32-yard line by Leroy Caffey. And the Cowboys are rolling here in the third period with some great blocking up front. The Cowboys surging back with Neely and Donahue, Nyland and Licio blocking away. 10 minutes and 31 seconds, the Cowboys.
Just learned as KLIF interrupts with information that the DC-9, the Delta DC-9 Flight 509 from New Orleans to Dallas, was having trouble encircling Carswell Air Force Base with probable front landing gear trouble, is down. All the passengers aboard are safe. No trouble at all. This is KLIF 2020 News.
The 28. Meredith fell just as he started to turn, slipped, and as though he were handing his last moment's life in his hands off to Reeves. Reeves took the ball and managed to pick up 3 yards anyway with good blocking on the left side by Nyland and Licio. Pettis Norman comes out. Clark is back in. Second down, 7 yards to go. Inside the 30-yard line at the 28-yard line of Green Bay. Renzel right, Bob Hayes split left, I formation. Meredith back to pass. Meredith looks, waits, looks, fires. It's complete to Renzel at the 17-yard line. He's down at that point, hit by Herb Adderley. And Renzel has the first down. The Cowboys driving from their own 9-yard line, 11-yard line. And the Cowboys have been studying well in the halftime dressing room.
Not only that, Bill, but Don Meredith is throwing the ball extremely well, and the 3 or 4 passes he's thrown so far this half have all been low and right into the breadbasket.
14-10, the Cowboys trailing. Meredith has a first down at the 18-yard line of Green Bay. Meredith gives to Danny Reeves, outside left end, trying to cut the corner, hit at the 20, breaks and slips and falls back at the 21-yard line. Trying to block for him was Leon Donahue, who had pulled on the play, but he could not get Henry Jordan out of the action, nor Ray Nitschke. Minus 13 degrees. That is below zero. I always thought, Blackie, that anything below 32 was absurd.
In school, I never learned to count below zero. It was illegal.
And the Cowboys come up now with a second down. They lost 4 yards in the last play. Second down and 4. Reeves goes in the slot, double wing the left side with Hayes. Meredith back to pass. Meredith pitching on the right side of Renzel. A diving try. It's incomplete at the 16-yard line. So that brings up a third down situation. And still 14 yards to go. Stops the clock with 8 minutes and 16 seconds remaining here in the third period. This ball game for the NFL championship. And the winner goes on to Miami on January 14th. Here is the third down play right now in the ball game. I formation. They shift with Perkins right, Reeves left, Hayes is split left. Reeves goes in motion to the right. This is a third down and 14. Meredith rolling off. Look, Waits. Now he runs out of there. He's across the 20, down to the 15, fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Green Bay on the 12-yard line. Coming up for the football was Herb Adderley. As Meredith fumbled. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Packers now on their own 12-yard line, and we're going to have a good deal of that this afternoon. It's already, of course, cost the Packers a touchdown on fumbles by the quarterback.
Bill, I'm afraid Don was carrying the ball out in his hand then instead of clasping it up against his chest, and when he hit the ground, it just bounced free.
It must be an awful shock to hit that hard ground today, 13 below zero, and then come in contact with it. There's time out on the field with the score of the Cowboys 10, the Packers 14. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Who is the #1 Oldsmobile dealer? In Dallas, Bankston's the top Oldsmobiler. Oldsmobiles, young mobiles. Yes, Bankston is the volume leader in Oldsmobiles. W-O, Bankston, no one else outranks them. Bankston's #1 in Oldsmobiles.
W.O. can save you a lot of money if you hurry, unlike new 1967 Cutlass Supremes. Yes, W.O. has 10 67 Cutlass Supreme Special Executive cars, and they're priced at only $29.95 for the two-door coupes. Only $100 more for four-door sedans. Hurry downtown to Ross and Olive for these 67 Cutlass Supremes from W.O.
W-O, Bankston, no one else outranks them. Bankston's #1 in Oldsmobiles.
Dollar splits to the near side. Out wide of the right is Carroll Dale. The deep back is Mercine. Anderson running on the left side. A handoff is to Donnie Anderson. Hit at the right side of the line. Hit from behind and dropped by the linebacker, Chuck Halley, Leroy Jordan, and picked up nothing along the 13-yard line. All the Packers facing the Cowboy defense. The Cowboys driving from their own 11-yard line, going to the 13 where Meredith fumbled on 3rd down. And that was a tough situation because it would have brought up 4th down and a sure field goal situation. It's a 2nd down. They still need 10 at their own 13-yard line. The Packers ball. The deep back is Mercine. Out wide to the right is Carroll Dale. Dollar left. Bart Starr gives to Anderson. Delay. He's hit by Jethro Pugh at the 14 and stopped at the line of scrimmage. And tremendous defensive play by the Cowboys in the 2nd, and here now in the opening moments of the 3rd quarter. That moves the ball up to the 15. It'll be 3rd down, and let's call it 8 yards to go. Picked up about 1.5 yards now in 2 plays. A big 3rd down situation for the Packers. Of course, the Packers are kicking against the wind here in the 3rd quarter. Dale comes to the near side, Dollar wide to the right. The backfield is split with Anderson on the left side, right side, and Mercine is on the left side. Bart Starr in a passing situation, dropping back at the 5, fires upfield. It is complete to Anderson at the 26-yard line, and he's down at the 26 with a 1st down. Covering on the play was Dave Edwards and Mike Johnson. Carroll Dale it was. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. 6 minutes and 26 seconds. A play that got the Packers out of their deep end of the field. Dowler comes to the near side. Dale goes wide to the right. Anderson and Mercine the backfield. They're running off the weak side. Bart Starr back to pass. Waiting. Triggers right. Schluntz back to the 10-yard line. Trying to run. Being hit at the 10-yard line and spun down back at the 9-yard line by George Andre. Andre drops Starr all the way back at the 9-yard line. A tremendous loss of 16 yards, and that's right back where the Packers started this series of downs. Great pursuit by the Cowboys front 4. Dick Daniels checks in, along with Phil Clark, Willie Towns, and Dave Edwards check out as the Cowboys go into their prevent defense to put 5-6 men in that secondary. Mike Johnson's on the right side. Phil Clark is deep on the near side. Mel Renfro is in the middle. On the far side is Dick Daniels. This is 2nd down. The handoff to Anderson on the sweep around the corner, getting a block being hit around the 15-yard line and driven out of bounds over at the 16-yard line.
Chuck Halley fought off 2 blockers to make that play, Bill. Had he been blocked, he might have cleared for almost a first down, but Halley had a tremendous effort in warding off 2 separate blockers.
So here's the third down, 20 yards to go, and Starr will be called on to throw here at the 18-yard line where they spot the football. 5 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the third period. The Cowboys trailing 14-10. Dale to the near side and Dowler to the right. Dowler's in tight. Anderson now, Dowler moves out, splits out about 5 yards. Dowler's on the right and Anderson on the right, Mercino on the left. The handoff to Anderson, barreling forward, hit from behind on another fine linebacker play by Jordan up at the 25-yard line. So Starr changed up his what you would expect a passing situation. Gave to Anderson a quick opener behind Kramer and Gregg and moved it back up to the 26. They got it up into a pretty good punting situation. Rensel and Hayes go back at their own 40 and 45-yard line, waiting for the kick from Donnie Anderson. And the left-footed kicker stands back on his own 12-yard line. Now we have 5:03. The clock is rolling. 9 men up front for the Cowboys to try to block it. They get it away. Anderson's fair catch by Rensel. He fumbles it, falls on it at the 46-yard line of the Packers. You really have to feel for these fellows trying to field a punt or handle that football today. We're a little chilly here in the press box. And it's 13 degrees below zero out there on the field. And if you've ever been cold, you know the first thing that bothers you, your feet, your toes, and your fingers. And when I stepped off the airplane Friday, Blackie, and that cold wind hit, I thought my fingers fell off immediately.
I heard you scream.
Will John and Brady Phelan report you game 6, please?
Well, the Cowboys will come up for the 1st and 10 now. There's time out on the field with the score. The Cowboys 10, the Packers 14. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
I understand you drink Oak Farms milk at your house. Do you like it?
Well, I guess it's the favorite at our house. And my kitty likes it, too. It makes you feel groovy. It just makes my day. I know it makes my bones stronger. Even when I was little, I drank it.
When you drink a glass of Oak Farms milk, how do you feel?
Well, actually, it calms my nerves. It gives me a brand new perspective. Scrumptious. It just makes you feel, It makes me cool and I like to taste. Crazy man crazy.
Why do you like Oak Farms milk?
Because it tastes good, makes my tummy cold. Mainly because it's white. When I drink Oak Farms milk, I feel so silly. Because it has zinc.
The very best things have zing, and they're from Oak Farms.
Is zing a secret
by Don
ingredient?
Perkins, by the tight end, Norman, and a fight down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Well, the Cowboys are at the 35. 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining as Reeves picks up a first down. Rensel on the right side, Bob Hayes split left. High formation in the backfield. Meredith drops back to pass. Looks for Norman. Pitch to Reeves. Reeves got it to 40. Hits for the 35. Gets his slashed off his feet at the 32-yard line. And a fine hard tackle by Ray Nitschke. It looked like Reeves was going to pick up some room, but just as he cut inside the 35, trying to pick his way down, he was hit at the 31-yard line and only picked up 4 yards in the play. It'll be second down and 6. Second down and 6, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. The clock rolling here in the third period. Rensel comes out to the right. Bob Hayes split left. Strong side right in the line. Perkins shifts right. Reeves splits on the left side. 4 men up front. The handoff to Dan Reeves, sliding in the hole to 30. Battered at the 30-yard line and makes it only to about the 29 before he's hit again by Nitschke. And again, coming up on that play was a very tough Willie Davis, the defensive left end.
Third and 6.
So it's third down and about 6 yards to go. Frank Clark checks in. Pettis Norman goes out at tight end. Defensively, they've got Davis, Costellic, Jordan, and Aldridge along the line. Caffey, Nitschke, and Robinson, the linebackers. Jeter, Wood, Brown, and Adderley, the secondary men. Retzel split left. Flanked out wide on the left side. Hayes comes to the near side. Reeves goes in the slot right. This is third down and 6, and Meredith back to pass. Hit from behind and dropped for a loss back at the 40-yard line. Barreling through was Willie Davis, the defensive left end, who had no body to block on him and dropped Meredith back at the 40-yard line.
And also Leroy Caffey, the linebacker on the right side, Bill. And I believe that was Green Bay's first blitz of the afternoon.
And a really game blowing through. Well, the wind by the back. Villanueva may try a field goal here. Jerry Rome is checking in. Well, Meredith dropped at the 39-yard line. And Villanueva will try this one. It'll be 46 yards. Now, the wind is blowing around in sort of a circle, so this will be 46 yards. Ball's down. It's up. It's not going to make it. It's going to hit around the 5, and it's picked up by Wood. He's to the 10, the 15. Hit around the 20-yard line and bumped out of bounds up around the 25. The first man to get to him was Larry Stevens. So the Packers have stopped the Cowboys twice in scoring opportunities here in the second half. This time at the 26-yard line, where Willie Wood runs it back. You have to understand the wind here is not just blowing straight across. There's a wind blowing around in circles down in here. There's time out on the field with a score. The Packers 14, the Cowboys 10. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Let's face it, when an emergency comes up or you're just short of cash, it's nice to know there's a company you can go to for prompt, dependable help. That company is HFC, Household Finance, the oldest, largest company of its kind, serving people from all walks of life in the United States and Canada, with over 1,500 offices. That means there's always convenient money help waiting for you, whenever, wherever you need it. HFC advises you to never borrow money needlessly, but when you need money for some important purpose and you need it now, count on HFC, Household Finance, where every year over 2.5 million people borrow with confidence. Now at Household Finance, you can borrow up to $2,500 or more with up to 60 months to repay. There are 13 HFC offices in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. See your phone book for the office nearest you.
Two minutes to play here now in the third period, and the Packers have the ball on their own 26-yard line. Harold Dale comes out to the near side. Out wide to the right is Dowler. The deep back is Mercine, and on the left side is Anderson. The Cowboys on defense now. It's a Packers run. They give to Anderson, barrels in the line, spins up to about the 29-yard line, fights his way to the 30, and is across the 30 to the 31. Hitting him was Leroy Jordan. And that's good for about 5 yards. They'll bring up second down at 5 at the Packer 30, let's call it the 32-yard line. Anderson now has run 13 times for about 54 yards. Reeves has run 10 times for 59. Perkins has run 12 for 37. The near side is Harold Dale. Dowler's wide to the right. The deep back is Mercine. This is second down. Anderson again pounds in the line. Is stopped and driven back by Jethro Pugh for no gain. Jethro Pugh making head-on contact with Anderson at the 32. Made the line of scrimmage, and that's all. That'll be third down coming up, and still along 4 or 5 yards to go. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining here in the third period. The Packers, of course, running here against the wind. He'll be looking for that fourth quarter with the wind behind them. Dowler to the near side, out wide to the right is Dale. Third down, 4. Bart Starr waits. He looks. Back here at Lambeau Stadium, now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. The Dallas Cowboy football broadcast.
All of the folks at AMA Package Stores wish all of you the happiest and most prosperous New Year ever. KLIF, Dallas.
Here's second down at 5 yards to go at the 50-yard line. Hayes right, Ritzel split left. Perkins and Reeves in the backfield. Meredith pitches out to Reeves, coming around left side, the halfback pass downfield. There's Ritzel at the 20, Ritzel to the 10, Ritzel to the 5, he scores! And the Cowboys lead 16 to 14. Yes! On the Reeves halfback pass of 50 yards to Lance Ritzel. And the stunned Packer fans, look at this one of 50 yards. Danny Reeves passing. He's hit 7 out of 4, or 4 out of 7 in regular season and 2 touchdowns, his third touchdown, and the Cowboys lead 16 to 14 with 14:52 left in the fourth period. And now Villanueva will try the extra point. Retzel scoring the touchdown and put the Cowboys in front. Rome will hold. The try for extra point. The ball snapped. It's down. It's up. It's good. It's 17 for the Cowboys, 14 for the Packers. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds. That's his third touchdown pass. 5 out of 8. Did he throw any? He threw one in the Cleveland game, didn't he?
Who is the number one Oldsmobile dealer? In Dallas, Bankston's the top Oldsmobiler. Oldsmobiles, young mobiles. Yes, Bankston is the volume leader in Oldsmobiles. W-O, Bankston, no one else outranks them. Bankston's number one in Oldsmobile.
Come to WO's in downtown Dallas for the best deals on young mobiles from Oldsmobile. Come downtown for the largest old showroom, acres of 1968s to choose from, and WO's convenient service center. Yes, WO wants your business, and he'll match any offer, take any reasonable deal to get it. So come on downtown and see WO Bankston for young mobiles from Oldsmobile.
W.O. Bankston, no one else outranks him. Bankston's number one in Oldsmobiles.
Take it away. Here's Villanueva kicking off. A short kick hits the wind at the 30, bounces around the 30-yard line, and is dropped to the 35 in the hands of Ray Nitschke. That'll be 1st and 10 now. At the 35-yard line of the Packers. The Cowboys have gone ahead of the world champions 17-14 with a devastating passing of Danny Reeves, who in the regular season has 4 out of 7 for 2 touchdowns. And here's 1st and 10 now at the 34 where they spot the ball. The near side is Dale, the far side is Dowler. The backfield, it is on the left side Edison, the right side Mercine. Bart Starr hurries back to pass. Starr hit the pass downfield, bounces off Dave Edwards, incomplete at the 50-yard line. A flag is down. And pass interference is ruled now against the Cowboys, maybe for blocking the pass receiver. Blackie?
I think the ball hit Dave Edwards in the back of the head, but that's the first I knew it was any penalty.
He was chasing the receiver downfield. The ball hit him in the back, and the Cowboys come up to have a talk about it. But it's the 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Norrin Schechter is a very fine official. And he, of course, in that very tough play, called it as pass interference. 48-yard line. Packers come up. They trail 17-14. Bart Starr gives off to Mercine, but he is clasped in the arms of Andre, and they stop him for nothing at the 48-yard line. George Andre leading the attack along with Chuck Halley and Dave Edwards. 14-19. And now the Cowboy fans down there in cool, but much warmer than Green Bay, Dallas. And watch that clock roll along as Marv Fleming comes out and Max McGee checks in at tight end. We give them 3 top-rate receivers, or speedy receivers. Darrell on the near side. Out wide the left is McGee, and Bart Starr hurries back to pass. Waiting, in trouble, trips, runs out of the pocket, hit from behind. Lilly's got him, and so has Jethro Pugh, and Starr is dropped to the 43-yard line. Great coverage downfield by the Cowboys secondary. Johnson, Howley, Cornell Green, and Mel Renfro. 13 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the 4th period. A loss back to the 43-yard line. 3rd down coming up, 15 yards to go. The clock rolling. The Cowboys now leading by 3 points in this ball game. Here come up the Packers. Out wide of the left side is Max McGee. At tight end on the right side is Dow. On the right side, flanked out, is Carroll Dale. Bart Starr, with a 3rd down and 15, hurries back to pass. The pressure's on him. Running to his left, fires downfield. It is batted away, incomplete by Leroy Jordan at the 45, intended for Mercine. Running along with Mercine was Chuck Halley. Brings up 4th down. And a kicking situation for the Packers. 13 minutes and 17 seconds remaining. We have a little foot that somebody tacked down here on the table. It's a long time. We have to say anything about it. so we'll wait a while. I don't want to psych anything right at the moment. 13-17, and back to kick is Anderson. The pass back. He gets it away. A high kick, giving his receivers time to get down there. The ball bounces around the 20 and rolls dead at the 19-yard line. A fine kick by Anderson. And so the Cowboys now face the win. We've got 13 minutes to play here in the fourth period. Cowboys leading 17-14. And they certainly will try to move the football, keep it rolling, keep the clock moving along. Here come the Cowboys out with Rentzel the near side, Bob Hayes the right. High formation, they shift out with Reeves on the left side. Meredith gives to Perkins, slashed into the left side of the line. Can't find a hole. Is stopped at the 20-yard line by Nitsky, who gives a kick at Perkins as he lets go. Ray Nitsky kicked at Perkins as he let him go at the 10-yard line. Oh, the Packers may be just a little heated up right here now, Blackie.
Maybe the officials ruled that was sort of an affectionate kick. I don't know.
Hayes comes to the near side with his hands stuck down in his trousers. Rentzel split out wide to the right. Second out, still 10 yards to go around the 20. Pitch out is to Reeves, cutting the corner, but he's hit and dropped back at the 15-yard line for a loss of 4 yards on the play. Of course, the Packers realize that Villanueva will have to kick against the wind. The clock rolling with 12:17 remaining. And now Frank Clark checks in and Norman goes out. The forward motion stopped at the line of scrimmage, the original point of scrimmage at the 18-yard line, so it'll be third down and still about 10 yards to go. The Cowboys have a big play right now to keep them moving here in the fourth period. The clock rolling, 11:56. Hayes comes to the near side, Rentzel right. Dandied on Meredith at quarterback, sends Reeves over to slot to the left side. The Packers set up 4 men and rush. Meredith back to pass. Pumps, fires deep down the field for Hayes. There's Bobby, but it is incomplete at the 45-yard line of the Packers. Covering on the play was Bob Jeter. So Meredith went for the Bob. Threw over his head. And it brings up fourth down and 10. And now Villanueva has a project to kick against a strong north wind, which now has suddenly shifted and blowing across the stadium from our side across to the opposite side. The wind has shifted around a bit. But the wind in fact, it's blowing in all sorts of directions right at the moment. And there comes the Braniff jet in. It'll take us back to Dallas. Here's a pass back. Villanueva boots it, gets a nice kick. Sailing way back to the 40, taken there by Wood. He's back at the 35, gets a block, hit at the 38, and is down at the 38-yard line. A flag is down. A flag is thrown at the 38-yard line, and we'll see who it's against.
Bill, I believe it was a face mask penalty against Dallas. Somebody grabbed Wood's face mask in that tangle.
And that's a 15-yard penalty to the 46-yard line of the Cowboys. 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. So what looked like that 15 yards can make a big difference right now in this ball game. Remember, if this game is tied at the end of the regulation time, it's sudden death. Here come the Packers up. The Cowboy 47-yard line now. First and 10. Dollar to the near side. And Starr's hurrying back to pass. Starr waits down the middle, complete to Dollar at the 35, hit by Renfro and dropped there. And a first down at the Cowboys' 35-yard line. 11 minutes to play. The clock is rolling. Well, the Packers come up. They've got Marv Fleming back in at tight end. Dollar's at split end. Carroll Dale at the flanker back. First and 10 at the Cowboy 35, and now, of course, they're getting close to field goal range if they don't make a first down. Dollar right. Anderson goes out as shifts over to the left side, and Carroll Dale is split left. Bart Starr, the quarterback, hands off to Anderson. He batters forward, picks up a couple of yards. That's about it, as he's hit at the line of scrimmage by Leroy Jordan and by George Andre and Willie Towns. So, well, about a yard is off at the 34-yard line. Second down, 9 yards to go. 10 minutes, 15 seconds to play. The Cowboys leading 17-14 here in the fourth period. Here come the Packers out with Dale going to the left side and Dowler right. The Cowboys secondary playing up rather tight at the moment. They'll be backing off as the play develops. Bart Starr is hurrying back to pass. He is hit as he throws the ball by Chuck Halley on the Cowboy linebacker blitz. And Halley came blowing up the middle as Starr tried to set a screen and pitch that ball to the left side. It was batted away. So it'll be third down and 9 at the 33-yard line of the Cowboys. That hash mark is just about gone out there. Stops the clock with 9:52 remaining. So here is a third down. And this one is a beauty. 3rd and 9, the Cowboys 33. The Packers coming out. Carroll Dale the left side and down on the right side. Marv Fleming, the tight end, is playing on the left side. Strong side is left in the line. Bart Starr, the quarterback. Starr is famous for the third down play. He's hurrying back to pass. Has protection, sets the screen. The pass is pulled behind the receiver, Anderson, at the 35. Anderson did not look back, and now it's 4th down, and here is Chandler coming in, and the try for the field goal. 4th down and 9. Anderson had not looked back on the screen.
Bill, had he caught the screen pass, I don't believe he would have made the first down because Bob Lilly had correctly read and figured out the play, and he was right off of Anderson's stern when the ball reached there.
Here now is the try for the field goal from 40 yards out. The ball's down, it's up, it's going to be short. Hits at the goal line and goes in, it's no good. And with 9:45 remaining, the Cowboys still lead 17-14. So the Cowboys stop. A very important drive of the Packers. It's 1st and 10 now for the Cowboys. They're on 20-yard line. 9 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in the fourth period. Trying to check to be sure if there's a timeout here. No timeout has been indicated as yet. One of the Cowboys going to the sideline on the far side of the field. The Packers getting set for defense. And we'll pick it up with 9:44 remaining here in the fourth period. One of the Cowboys on the far side of the field looked like he was shaken up on the play and trying to get his number over there. But there was a timeout, but we will just save this one and come back for a little bit later. Right now, 9 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. The Cowboys leading with a pass from Reeves to Rensel that put them ahead 17-14. You'll recall the scoring in the first half was Andre picking up a fumble by Starr, running it in from 5 yards out. His third touchdown ever as a Cowboy. And then Villanueva kicking his 21-yard field goal. Now Hayes comes out to the left side. Rensel is flanked out wide to the right. The Packers put 5 men up front. High formation, hand to Perk up the middle, across the 25, and hit at the 25 and stop there. As he's hit at the 25-yard line by Willie Wood, the right safety who came up to make the play. As they spot the ball at the 25, it'll be 2nd down and a good 5 yards to go. The clock is rolling. Here come the Cowboys out again. Bob Hayes to the near side. Rensel flank wide to the right. The shadow is over the field now. Hand off to Perkins, up the middle, across the 26, and dropped at the 26-yard line by Willie Davis, by Leroy Caffey, and by Ray Nitschke. A yard picked up, 3rd down, 3 yards to go at the 26-yard line of the Cowboys. The clock rolls along, 8:55. The Cowboys have never won a championship game. They've been in a playoff bowl with Baltimore, a championship game with Green Bay. They have never beat. But now they lead, and they're along 8 minutes to play. Perkins at a slot to the right side. Meredith gives to Perk on a draw. He breaks out of the tackle, cuts outside, is up to about the 29, and dropped there shy of a 1st down. Great second effort handled by Ray Nitschke, who came across to make the tackle on him. And so with 8:29 remaining, there is evidently a discussion on the play, and a flag is down. A flag is down at the 25, and a penalty moves the ball to the 31, and that'll be a first down for the Cowboys. The flag dropped over here. It's an offsides against the Packers. 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining. The Cowboys get life on a penalty here in the fourth period. 50,000 fans, hearty souls of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and a few hundred fans from Texas here at this bowl. Hayes to the near side, Renzel to the right side. The shift. Perkins goes in the slot right, a triple wing on the right side. A great deal of shifting the defense. A handoff to Reeves. Slashed in the line of scrimmage, hits up to the 35, and is down at the 36-yard line, tumbled down there by Dave Robinson, the left linebacker, for Green Bay. Good blocking in the right side by Neely and Donahue as they slash forward, moving the ball out to the 36-yard line. 8:14, the clock is rolling. The Cowboys try to eat up time. You remember in the Cleveland game, they consumed 7 minutes in the third period, running the clock out. And that's the name of the game right now, ahead here by 3 points. The 7:59. Hayes to the near side, Renzel right. Coming up close to the left side is Tom Brown. This is second down. Pitch out to Reeves, cutting the corner, in trouble. He reverses, slips and falls, picks himself up, hit again, dropped to the 31-yard line. That play got blown all to pieces by great defensive effort over there on the left side by Lionel Aldridge. And also in there was Ray Nitschke. So it'll be a third down situation now, and still and a long 10 yards to go, about 10 and a half. Reeves goes out and Bainham goes in at running back. Also going out is Norman, and Clark is in. This is third down and 10 and a half yards to go with 7:15 remaining. The Cowboys come up with Hayes to the near side and Renzel right. Perkins and Bainham in the backfield. Meredith has a big play, and Bainham comes over, double wing on the left, to slot out to the left side. Meredith hurries back to pass. He looks, he waits, runs to his right, fires downfield. It's complete at the 41-yard line and out of bounds around the 41, very close to a first down, over to Frank Clark at the 42-yard line. Meredith was in all sorts of trouble, ran out of the pocket to his right, and then found his receiver, and they're going to measure it. It'll be very, very close to a first down. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the fourth period. And they run the chain across the field. Looks like he got it. First down for the Cowboys at their own 41. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. 17-14, the Cowboys leading by 3. Bart Starr is staying warm on the sidelines by throwing to Bob Long. Starr knows now his time is to throw. 6:45, the clock has not yet started. Renzel on the near side, Bob Hayes split to the right. High formation, Perkins and Bainham in the backfield. Give to Perk, hits on the left side of the line, but he breaks one tackle, hit again by Ron Kostelnik, and dropped around the 41-42-yard line. Trying to counter the left side, however, the Packers were not taken out of the play. And it'll be just a fraction of a yard picked up. Second down, and let's still call it about 10 to go. 6:24, the clock is rolling along here in the fourth period.
Bill, you notice that the Packer tacklers now are gambling a little bit. They're tackling the ball rather than the emphasis on the ball carrier. They're going after the ball to try to create a fumble.
Renzel on the near side, Hayes right. Meredith back to pass. Pitches out on the right side of Bainham. Bainham slips and falls on the 37-yard line, trying to cut the corner. And coming over to cover him up was Leroy Cappy. And that is strictly weather conditions. Because Bainham, who has good turning ability and cutting ability, just tripped and fell back at the 37. So third down and 13. And Norman goes off the field on the far side. Clark is in.
The Cowboys have made two big third down plays on to hold the ball here. One on a penalty and one on the 10-yard pass to Frank Clark. This is another one. This is third and 13. A very important play if they keep possession.
And here they come up, third down and 13. 5:26, the clock is rolling. Meredith looks. Now he sends Bainham out split to the left. Clark is in tight. Meredith waits, drops, slips, and falls at the 34-yard line. Picks up, throws downfield, incomplete, overthrown to Ritzel at the 45-yard line and almost thrown toward Tom Brown. Could have been a great play. Ritzel was down at the 45 and Meredith was off target as he got himself up and through. So it's 5 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. Brown and Wood are back in double safety. And the Cowboys have to give up the football. They're on their own 38. Villanueva kicking from the 25. The Packers put 9 men up front. They'll put a rush on. The pass back. Villanueva has it. The kick. He got it away, and it's a good kick going to Willie Wood at the 24. Wood looks upfield, breaks one tackle, is knocked off his feet at the 31-yard line. A great diving play by Harold Hayes. So 5 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. The Cowboys leading 17-14. And you know that Bart Starr is going to throw.
9-4-4-2-8-6-0.
Marv Fleming in at tight end. Boyd Dowler had split in. Carroll Dale the flanker back. 4 minutes, 57 seconds. The clock is rolling. Dale comes to the near side. Dowler is in tight at left end. Fleming's in tight at right end. The deep back is Mercine with Anderson on the left side. The Cowboys have 6 men up tight. 2 linebackers in close. Fake twice. Bart Starr back to pass. Looking, throws to Anderson. Has got it at the 35. Anderson to the 36 and is ridden down at the 37-yard line. Anderson out in the right flat, decoying out as Bart Starr kept hustling back. Picks up about 6 yards. It'll be second down coming up at the 38-yard line. Stops the clock with, no, he didn't stop the clock. He was down on the inside, so it's 4:20. 4:19, the clock is rolling. Second down, about 4 yards to go. Ball on the 37-yard line of Green Bay. Dowler right and Dale left. Strong side right in the backfield, left side strong in the line. Starr gives to Mercine outside left end. He's to the 40, picked to the 45. Looks like he's got the first down at the 45-yard line and is knocked out of bounds by Jordan. 3:57. The first down at the Packer 45-yard line. This ball game, 3:57, long way from being over yet. Cowboys leading 17-14. The Packers, the world champions, they're not going to give it up without a whale of a struggle in the last few minutes of play. Dale left and Dowler right. Bart Starr has Mercine on the left side. Starr hurries back to pass, fires down the middle. It is complete to Dowler at the 41, and he's dropped immediately by Cornell Green. That's good for 12 yards and a first down. Dowler hit flat on his back by Cornell Green and comes off the field. And Max McGee comes on. The ball at the Cowboy 41. 3 minutes and 32 seconds. The clock is rolling. Here come the Packers up. They've got Carroll Dale on the right side. Probably a running situation now for Starr. Starr gives to Anderson. He's hit from behind and drops at the 49-yard line of the Packers. And a great play by Willie Towns. Towns took Anderson apart as he came barreling through and threw his huge weight into Anderson at the Packer 49.
Bill, that was the halfback pass. They were going to copy the Dallas play on that. Donnie Anderson was going to throw, and he had 2 receivers deep, but Willie Towns made a tremendous play to prevent any kind of a possibility of a pass.
9-yard loss, second out and 19. The Packer 49-yard line. Carroll Dale goes left, and coming to the right side is McGee. Dowler comes out of the dugout. Now he's revived. The deep back is Mercine. The right side is Anderson. 2:32 to play. Dart Starr back to pass. Starr waiting. Starr running to his right. Screens off to Anderson. A break clear at the 40. Hit behind. Dropped to the 40-yard line of the Cowboys by Jethro Pugh. Came off the play very well to get Anderson on the safety valve to the right side. The ball at the 39-yard line. Third down and about 8 yards to go. Marv Fleming, Travis Williams started in. He's pulling it off the field. 2 minutes and 1 second. And timeout is called with 2 minutes to play. Timeout on the field with the score of the Packers 14, the Cowboys 17. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
Now at Household Finance, you can borrow up to $2,500 or more with up to 60 months to repay. There are 13 HFC offices in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. See your phone book for the office nearest you.
Go on, Lucky Hit. Back to play. Third down, 8 yards to go. The Cowboys 39. This is the third down. Blackie and I were just saying this might be the play of the game, but there might be a couple more. Dowler's back in. McGee's to the right. Dowler's in. Double wing on the left side. Both ends split out wide to the left. Third down and 8. Bart Starr hurrying back to pass. Waiting. Pumping. Pitch to Anderson. He's at the 35. At the 30. And down. Looks like he's got the first down at the 30-yard line. Oh, Anderson on the safety valve again. Picks up the first down at the 30 with 1:45 remaining. And the Packer fans have gone just about as wild as they can in the 13 minus degrees. So it's at the 30. 1:33. That was a big one in a first down, as Mr. Starr is capable of doing. 17-14. Dale to the left side and McGee to the right. Dowler is on the left side. Bart Starr hurrying back to pass. Waits. Throws to Mercine at the 30. Mercine to the 20. Mercine to the 15 and out of bounds around the 10-yard line. With 1 minute and 11 seconds left. Leroy Jordan is having a big argument with the official on the far side of the field. And so the ball is at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Packers with 1 minute and 11 seconds left. Cowboys leading by 3, 17-14. The ball at the 11-yard line. Here come the Packers up, and the Cowboys break their defensive huddle. To the right side, Dale. To the left side is McGee. Bart Starr has Mercine the deep back. He hands off to Mercine, who's to the 5. Mercine is to the 2-yard line. Finally, Mike Johnson hits him, but that's almost enough for a first down at the 2. And Marv Fleming comes back in. 59 seconds. The clock is rolling. So the Packers are at the Cowboy 2, and the Packers call time. Well, the ball at the 2-yard line, and second down and about a yard to go. 54 seconds remaining. Starr, the quarterback. Starr gives to Anderson at the 1. Looks like he's got the first down, but he does not have the touchdown. The clock is rolling with 47 seconds. First down at the 1. As Anderson carries to the 1-yard line, 36 seconds remaining. The Cowboys coming down here, leading 17-14, but here come the Packers with just a few moments left in the ballgame, 30 seconds. The Cowboys set. Starr gives to Anderson, fighting. He's not there. He's stopped at the goal line. Stopped, and the Packers call time with 20 seconds. So 20 seconds left on the clock. Willie Towns throwing his frame in along with Jethro Pugh to stop the Packers at the 1-yard line. 20 seconds left. Willie Towns helped up with the official. Bart Starr comes to the sideline.
Bill, I'm sure they'll talk over what play they will, certainly they'll talk over what play they're going to call now, but to try to, if this play is not successful for the touchdown, to decide what to do on the following play, which might be the last play of the ball game, to go for the field goal and tie the score and put it into sudden death.
Going back to the line of scrimmage is Forrest Gregg with Bart Starr. 20 seconds left. The Packers are at the Cowboy 1-yard line.
Bart Starr is checking with the officials now, and I imagine he wants to make sure that they have one timeout left, and I think that's what we have up here, is he wants to make sure there's no mistake about it.
Bob Skoronski goes over to also check. He's the left tackle. Oh, the Packers have driven back. They trail by 3 points. It's 17-14. 20 seconds left on the clock. The Cowboys set. They've got the longest yard in their history right now. Here come the Packers up. Bart Starr. Ready to go. And the fumble of pile up at the goal line. They did not make it. As it went to Anderson, and they didn't make it.
Anderson stumbled as he took the ball from Bart Starr then and headed right into the ground, right at the line of scrimmage. It looks like it's on about the 1.5-yard line.
16 seconds left on the clock. The Packers huddling. This is third down. And last time out, as we have it up here. About a half yard to go. Here come the Packers up again. Mercine sets his feet. Bart Starr's all set. 16 seconds left. Starr's in. Touchdown. And the crowd has gone wild and run on the field with 13 seconds left. The Packers are ahead. 17-10. Packers picked up the touchdown. The scoreboard has not changed. I think the scoreboard is frozen. It would be 20-17 in favor of the Packers right now. And Mr. Chandler will try the extra point. It's down, it's up, and it's good. The Packers 21, the Cowboys 17. Dallas Cowboy football continues in 60 seconds.
There's just one Schlitz, yeah, yeah, nothing else comes near. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. Just one beer fits, yeah, yeah, this great one here. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Schlitz is the one with gusto, the most carefully brewed beer in the world. It takes 1,174 brewing steps to put the real gusto in Schlitz.
If you like it light with a big taste too, there's only one brew that will do. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and other cities.
Ball rolling down to the goal line is picked up by Reeves, and he's down in the end zone with 13 seconds left on the clock. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cowboys, their own 20-yard line. And fans are circling around now in the back of the end zone. Well, it's 80 yards away. See what happens on this one. Nitschke comes in. The Cowboys come out. 13 seconds. Hayes to the near side, Brentz to the right side. Bainham hurrying off the field. There'll be a flag as there were 12 men on the field. Here's Meredith throwing deep down the far sideline for Retzel, incomplete. Stops the clock with 7 seconds. I think the Cowboys had too many men on the field. 7 seconds remaining. Discussion right now. Move the ball back to the 15-yard line of the Cowboys. Giving up. Football. 7 seconds left now. 21-17. Second down and 15 yards to go at the Cowboy 15-yard line. Well, the Cowboys so close again. This time with the Packers who came back. This may be the last play of the game. Hayes coming to the left. They'll certainly put double or triple coverage on him. Meredith hurrying back to pass the 5-yard line, waiting. There's a long pass down the sideline, fighting for it. It is out of bounds, incomplete. 1 second. That's the end of the ball game. And the Packers have won 21-17. And there go the fans on the field. The Cowboys were so close, but not quite close enough. Blackie, with a bitter defeat in the last 30 seconds of play.
I don't know what you have to do, Bill. Green Bay, certainly there was nothing extremely fluky or nothing at all fluky about the victory when the Packers had to move right down there in the last 5 minutes of the game. They did this, and they were stopped apparently stopped on the 1-yard line, and then Bart Starr took it over. Now we're seeing these metal goalposts being bent double by the wild onslaught of fans down there. I'm sure they'll wind up as souvenirs in somebody's house. This will have to go down in all things considered, the weather considered, the extremely miserable temperature on the field, as one of the finest games played in the NFL Championship Series, Bill. Bart Starr was the same old, cool, rather cold, but poised and completely in control self, as he has proven many, many times in his National Football League career.
Here's the way the scoring went this afternoon. The Cowboys fell behind Green Bay as they did last year, 14-0 before the second quarter was well along. Starr passed to Dollar 8 yards on a pass in the first quarter as the Packers moved down. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and it was 7-0. Then with 12:19 to play in the second quarter, Starr hit on a third down and 1 yard situation and threw a 42-yard scoring pass to Dollar, is one of his key plays, and it was 14-0.
Let's remember that third down situation, which is Bart Starr's specialty. That was a tremendous key play, and then we'll point out one a little bit later on a third down situation.
4 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the second quarter, with the front four of the Cowboys putting on that great pressure. George Andre took the ball from Starr as he fumbled, and Willie Townsend hit him from behind, and George went in for the touchdown. That made it 14-7. Villanueva then kicked the field goal with 32 seconds left in the second quarter, make it 14-10. Then the Cowboys came out. They had 3 drives at the Packer goal in the third period. One of the key plays may have very well been Meredith fumbling as he ran on third down and hit at the 13-yard line, because the Cowboys would have come up with a fourth down in field goal position. But that was one of the ifs and ands and buts against the Packers. Somehow it never happens that way. The Cowboys had to wait then until 14:52 in the fourth period. Reeves, on his halfback pass through to Rensselaer, broke in the clear, went 50 yards for the touchdown. The Cowboys led 17-14, and the Packers didn't get a chance at it until 30 seconds left of the ball game, and Starr went in for the touchdown on that long drive.
Bill, about that one, that Dallas touchdown, the Danny Reeves pass, the 50-yard pass to Lance Rensselaer, as you repeated before. Danny Reeves has thrown 8 passes this year, 5 of them complete, and for 3 touchdowns. And this was an especially remarkable feat on the part of Danny Reeves today. It was the first pass he's thrown. He didn't have the feel of the ball. His hands must have been...
Let's go down to the dressing room now, and Don Benkowski. Don?
Thank you very much, Bill Mercer. We're in the Dallas Cowboys dressing room, and what could have been perhaps a very jubilant dressing room has all of a sudden turned out to be a rather quiet one. For just a moment, if we can, Mel Renfro, any comment on the actual ball game today?
Well, I think our guys did a good job. It's just unfortunate that right there at the end that we had to break down on defense and couldn't win it. You got to give a lot of credit to Bart Starr and the offensive personnel of the Green Bay Packers. They came through when the time was there, and we didn't, and I guess we'll just have to kind of wait till next year.
Now, playing on the defensive portion of your team, now, what is the actual situation as far as hands and cold? How did that badly affect you?
Well, I think the hands didn't bother us so much as the footing. The field was slick and it had a lot of ice on it, and dropping back and trying to cover and move, it was almost impossible. I would see Bart Starr throwing the ball, but I just couldn't move and get in position to make the play, and I think probably it was a bigger factor in their favor than it was in ours as far as the defense went.
Perhaps when the cold affected your body portions more, your arms and legs and actual movements of the body.
Well, yeah, the weather was a big factor, but I think both ball clubs felt just as bad. I mean, it was just as cold, and it hampered both sides, and you really can't say too much about a field and conditions like that because they were bad, and I know Green Bay, they're fortunate that they came out on top, and we're just a little bit out of it right now.
Very tremendous football game. Mel Renfro, thank you very much for talking with us. I know that you want to get your shower and get back to start heading toward Dallas. Thank you. Mel Renfro. Danny Reeves. Danny, a few cuts and bruises today?
Just a few, Don.
I see you got some blood on the lip here in the locker room now. Danny, how about you? You had a fairly decent afternoon. Were you satisfied with it?
Well, no, because, Don, we didn't win. We felt like when we came up here that we could beat the Packers, but you got to give them credit. They came out with more points on the scoreboard than we did.
Mel Renfro, talking just a moment ago, saying that the footing perhaps was a little treacherous. Did you find this as the running back?
Well, it only bothered me a couple of times. I think it's just as maybe more so tough on a defensive man because he doesn't know where you're going. It's tough for them to cover you, but you're not quite as quick. You can't cut as quick as you normally do on a regular field. And I thought this was about the only thing that bothered you as far as running with the football.
After you'd thrown the pass for the completion of the touchdown, did you feel that this perhaps could have wrapped up the ball game for the Cowboys?
Well, yes, I thought maybe that we could. I felt like our defense was controlling the ball game at that point, and I just felt like that we were going to be able to hold them. But Starr took him, of course, and drove him down, and and they ended up scoring with about 13 seconds to go. So at the point, yes, I thought we could, but as it ended up, it didn't.
There's, of course, the weather here. It was 13 below, 15 below at times. How did this affect your body? Mel Renfro said it affected him to the extent of not being able to move as quickly. Did you find this the same problem?
Well, it didn't bother me as far as quickness was concerned. The only thing that bothered me is my hands got real cold, and it was hard to be comfortable at all while you're out there. And usually when you breathe, you're breathing in all that cold air when you're really looking for wind, and it burns more, I think, than you do in normal weather. And I think my hands and breathing was about two things that bothered me more.
Danny Reeves, now the football game is over, of course. The Laurels have gone to the Green Bay Packers. It's not too much we can say about it. We all know that it was won in the last 13 seconds. But did the Dallas Cowboys prepare any surprises for Green Bay this afternoon?
No, we stuck with our normal game plan offensively, and I imagine we did defensively. I don't know much about defense, but we just tried to use the same things on offense that's been working for us all year. And maybe we tried to hit a little more short passes because you couldn't feel the ball as well, maybe throwing it deep. We thought maybe we could hit some zones, and they were dropping back off real deep. It was about the only adjustment that we had to make.
Certainly next year we're going to be looking forward to the Dallas Cowboys again, possibly taking the complete apples. You almost had it wrapped up in just a matter of seconds. Danny, good luck to you in the next year, 1968.
Thank you, Dan.
Dan Reeves, our guest, ladies and gentlemen, on the locker room report. Now we're going to Leroy Jordan. Lee, I know that you're undressing now. How did you prepare for this actual game as far as clothing?
Well, Don, that's a good question. We put on everything we could, and it was rather cold. That's all I can say.
Would this be a factor, perhaps, in, say, your actual body movements, the fact that you wore more clothing today than you would normally wear in a football game?
Well, I don't know. It possibly could have, but I think everybody was dressed about the same, so I wouldn't say that this was a factor in one team having advantage over the other. I don't think I would ever say to anyone that the cold was the reason we lost the game, because I don't feel that way about it. I feel like that they beat us, and this is what happened. Although I would like to say I'd rather play this game where that both teams could perform better or at their best, because I feel like it's not only bad for the fans, but also the players when they play in this kind of weather. I don't think you get the best possible ball game you can get from both teams.
Is there any particular point in the game? Of course, you know the final 13 seconds is a big turning point, but any other time in that football game that you thought maybe the point went one way to the Packers or toward the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, we had just 2 or 3 things there that hurt us. In one drive, I think we had 3 penalties, which set them up in good position to score. And also on the last drive, we had 2 or 3 guys to fall down while trying to stand up, and I think this hurt us in stopping them first downs. You know, we had them in position, but slipping on the ice, we were not able to make the tackle and stop them before they made the first down.
Leroy, what about the actual field? Now, the electric blanket here at Lambeau Field kept the temperature supposedly about 50 degrees thereabouts. Could you feel this heat on the field at all?
No, sir, it was a solid blanket of ice, and where the 56 degrees was, I don't know.
Well, this, of course, is prior to the intended 15 below zero that we had today. But
I think it must have been, because the field was frozen solid as far as I could tell. It might have been, 56 degrees before they took the tarp off today. But when we got out there and started warming up, it was frozen, and it even got harder as the game got along. In the second half, it was real hard.
Leroy Jordan, thank you very much for talking with me, and all I can say is, let's say that perhaps 1968 will be the year.
Well, let's hope it gets better to us. We've had a couple of years that are not too good in the finals, so we hope that next year will be much better.
Thank you very much. Leroy Jordan talking with us, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Dallas Cowboys are rather in a silent state, we might say. Perhaps you call the morgue or the dressing room right now. But we're going to have to wrap it up as the Cowboys are preparing now to leave back for Dallas, taking their showers, getting clothing on, and taking clothing off that they did bundle up with out in that 15 below zero. Now let's return you back to Bill Mercer at the booth.
Thank you, Don. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Dallas Cowboys football.
All of the folks at A&A Package Stores wish all of you the happiest and most prosperous New Year ever. KLIF, Dallas.
Yeah, I'll come down here. He's all done, right? Back here at Lambeau Field. The Cowboys and the Packers are wound up, and we'll be back with more of the post-game report right after this message.
Let me take a moment here to talk to you gals who follow the Cowboys.
It's tough to get your family to sit still long enough to eat complete, well-balanced meals, isn't it? I know it is in my family. Well, now there's a solution. When Dad and the kids are too rushed to eat, make sure they drink Hustle, the new instant meal. That's right, a complete, balanced meal in a delicious liquid form. But don't confuse Hustle with one of those skimpy liquid diet foods. Hustle's different. Just 1 can of Hustle provides as much protein as a quarter pound of beef, as much vitamin C as a whole grapefruit, as much calcium as a pint of milk, the quick energy of 2 chocolate bars, plus the rest of the vitamins and minerals known to be needed in a well-balanced meal. In fact, Hustle was originally developed to satisfy the high energy requirements of athletes like the Dallas Cowboys. So when your dad or your little Cowboys are too rushed to eat, drink Hustle, the new instant meal. Put Hustle in your family's life for energy. It's at food stores now.
And now it's about 17 degrees below zero here at Lambeau Stadium. And any way you look at it, it was just a tough, bitter, cold defeat for the Cowboys. The Packers, all the credit in the world. They came back and did it, pulling it in the last 13 seconds of play. Their third straight championship. Green Bay defeated Cleveland 23-12 and 65. They beat the Cowboys last year 34-27, and this one 21-17. For the champions, 11th victory as a world champion. And that's the post-game report. The Cowboys, as we look at the time right now, at just about 4 o'clock, we should be taking off here sometime around 5. And the Cowboys will be back in Dallas at Love Field around 7:15, 7:30. It will be a great tribute to this fine bunch of men who have played so well today. You'll be on hand and welcome them back to Dallas. That's it from Lambeau Stadium. This is Bill Mercer and Blackie Sherritt. It's been our pleasure being with you this year. We'd like to go on to Miami just to see if it's warm anywhere else in the world, but maybe that'll come off the next time around. The final score, the Packers 21, the Cowboys 17. So long from Lambeau.
You've been listening to the post-game show brought to you by Hustle. If Hustle isn't available at your favorite store, write Hustle, Box 5086, Dallas.
If anyone should ask you, tell them you're listening to KLIF Dallas. And this year, make a New Year's resolution not to miss any of the excitement Big Cliff has for you in 1968.
One day you'll look to see I've gone, for tomorrow may rain, so I'll follow the sun.
Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys! Stand up! Stampede! Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys! Dallas Cowboys stampede down the field. See the defense reel and watch them fall.